This is what it's all about, man. This is what it's all about. Esco put on for the culture. It's not about Esco. It was everybody did their thing, but listen, man, that man stepped up, mass appeal. Everybody ate last night. Everybody ate last night, man. Fed the culture. Robert Hunt was good. I seen you in that chat last night, boy. Damn, that's deep. You right. Entertained for a full 8 hours. Yes, 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 yes. We can go down the line, man. Miss Lauryn Hill, Eeze, Snoop, G Rap. What we talking about, man? Cube. Everybody did their thing last night, man. It was something for everybody. Was good, was good, was good. KC1, what up? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Your boy running on fumes, but let's get it. Let's get it. We're gonna have a good time today, man. We're gonna have a good time today. Those in the chat right now. Those in the chat right now. What was your favorite moment? Let me know. We're gonna start there. We're gonna the whole rundown. We're gonna have a good time today. Shout out to hip hop. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to me. My goodness, man. My goodness. What a time to be alive, man. What a time to be alive. Phenomenal. Nurse Angel, what's good? 88 Spencer, what up? Yo, 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 what's good? Yo, I haven't felt this great in a while, man. I did a video maybe 3 days ago. I was a little heartbroken about what was happening. I ain't like the way my beloved hip hop was looking. Listen, listen, listen. The rap gods prevailed, man. Good energy, good energy, good energy, good energy. JB was good. Jay Burns, what up? My goodness. Wow. And you know what's crazy? Watching the show, right? Because I watched the live stream. I didn't go. As I was watching it, I'm going to keep it a bean. I was a bit upset with myself. Like, Eeze, you should have been there for that. But once the show was over and I was able to just turn the TV off and go to bed and not have to worry about commuting from the Bronx. Because, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not from the city, commuting from the Bronx on a regular day at a Yankees game can be a headache. I know it was a zoo out there last night. New York City. What a time, man. What a time. Had a concert at the crib. Shout out to Nas, Mass Appeal for even making that available, man. Not being stingy with it, you know, shooting their own footage, and then you got to go buy some bundle or something like that to be tuned in. They fed us last night. Real rap. Craziness. Shout out to everybody who was in the crowd, those who was outside Yankee Stadium, those who were sitting on their couch, those who were at work, working overnight, those who were commuting in the car. Wherever you was at, you was a part of that event. That was fire. Craziness. Early on in the chat, people was like, yo, ain't nobody in the crowd. You got to understand, Yankee Stadium is a prestigious venue, right? So you know they was vetting cats to get up in there, man. And then the energy was probably so prolific outside the building. People were stalling, probably kicking it with their folks, just taking it all in. We don't know how many out-of-towners we had that was taking pictures. But when it was go time, it looked bananas in there. Shout out to Esco. I'm going to keep saying it. Madison Square Garden to Yankee Stadium. If he ain't the best ever, we can't even talk anymore. What's happening, man? Craziness. So let's start from those who just coming in. I asked, what was your favorite moment of the entire event? Just put it in the chat. Throw that in the chat. For me, my favorite moment would have to be Kool G Rap coming out. For a host of different reasons, because I didn't expect it. I didn't expect that because when the Juice Crew came out, Craig G and all of them, I'm like, yo, what G Rap back? Because G Rap he seems to be an individual that shies away from that. When Esco brought him out and let him get his joint off, fast life. I thought they was gonna do the realest verse, but I don't know, man. I have no complaints. They can't perform everything. It was immaculate. I even like the fact that when Lauryn Hill was on stage, it had that natural feel, right? Like I don't know, they was just like in a jam session or something like that. It was fire. Nas gave her flowers. He sat back and just let her have her moment. That was a beautiful thing to witness. Shout out to Mobb Deep, Big Noy. Noy. Tell me it wasn't a great thing to see Noid on the stage. One of the most underrated hype man. When I say hype man, people seem to think that's a bad thing. Nah, hype man just mean that you have some humility about you, right? You can get on stage with your man, play the background, and you know the task at hand, you just deliver. Shout out to Noise, shout out to Havoc, man. Shout out to hip hop. What a beautiful moment. And a lot of people were upset about who wasn't there and who should have got their shine. We don't know who had tour dates lined up overseas or who schedules didn't align. You know, everybody can't be on the stage, but those who showed up, it was a beautiful thing to witness, man. It was a beautiful thing to witness. So let's start from the beginning. The beginning of the show was the OGs, right? So we had, there was a host of OGs out there. You had the Juice Crew, you had Melly Melon was out there, you had, my goodness, I'm just losing, I can't even think right now. It was crazy. It's amazing. What we have. I want to make sure I don't forget anyone. Go to the bill real quick. Obviously, Cool Herc. Shout out to you. We appreciate you. We appreciate you. Grandmaster Cass. He showcased just how talented or ahead of his time that he was. To this day, he's still a spitter. Shout out to all the OGs. Shan hit the stage. TJ Swan was out there. TJ Swan? What? TJ Swan. First dude to sing a hook on some TJ Swan-ish. That's Nas, not Nostradamus. That's who he was referring to. TJ Swan. Who else was out there? Roxanne Shante. Man. Sugar Hill Gang. Phenomenal. It was something for everybody. Something for everyone. Something for everyone. Shout out to Molly Mall. If you just coming in, make sure that y'all hit that like button, man. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to open up the phone lines today, too. I want to hear y'all experiences verbally. We're going to talk today. Yeah, he lost his voice, but it's all good, though. It's for the culture. But I will say this. One thing I realized last night, or maybe it confirmed, or maybe it was just a reminder, how serious OGs take live performances. You can tell that they rehearsed. Not just for Yankee Stadium. You can go to any tribute show that most of them ever had, whether it was the BET Awards or Hip Hop Honors. They take it serious, whether it's breath control, choreography, transitions from song to song. It was a beautiful thing to watch. It was fire. It was fire. It was immaculate. Shout out to Snoop. I see you, Jay Burns. Snoop is a big, big fan of New York and the Pioneers. He was, and he is, and he's always been that way. Slick Rick got his flowers. Because early on in the show, I'm guessing the crowd was still coming in while some of the individuals were still performing. And it was a beautiful thing to see Snoop take a back seat and allow even like a Dougie Fresh to come out and get to feel that energy from the capacity, like that crowd when everyone was there. The consummate showman, one of the greatest performers ever, Dougie Fresh. Immaculate performance. Incredible. Ladies and gentlemen, you ain't always got to be the greatest lyricist. You ain't got to be the greatest dancer. But being able to command the crowd in the way that he does, that's innate, man. Certain things, people were talented. Some people were just gifted. It was a beautiful thing to see Dougie Fresh get busy, man. Craziness, man. Fire. So what y'all think about Craig G? I was highly impressed with his performance as well. Like, Hip hop is 50 years old, and although some of the OGs, which is a great thing, all of us are getting older, right? How they able to still spit? Everybody isn't stuck in a particular time frame, right? Some people are still active. You can still tell that they write or they're still competitive in a sense. Cool Mo D was out there. Jay Burns, I see you. Cool Mo D and Cass was spitting current bars, going back and forth. That was fire. Mook, the show was incredible. I wasn't there. I'm not going to front like I was in the audience. I wasn't. But it did tell me that when Nas and them at the Barclays, I got to go now. I had a great time at home yesterday. Great time. Incredible time. But I'm not going to miss that Wu show because Ghostface, my God. Showman. What a showman. The list goes on. I'm just looking at the comments, man. I'm forgetting so many names. Common. Lupe. No hype, man. Bar after bar after bar after bar after bar. Clean. Knew his lyrics. Preparation is everything. Oh, yeah, I was definitely in that chat. Big Queens. And, you know, I'm a homer. You know what I'm saying? I always speak about Queens, but if it wasn't a reminder last night, Queens is heavy in hip hop, man. Queens is heavy in hip hop. Shout out to the Bronx as well. EPMD, Strong Island, the Green Eye Bandit, Eric Sermon, Paris. Wonderful thing. I think Snoop brought them out too, right? They performed early and came back out. It was good to see, man, because people forget we become so regional and everybody always talking about how they coast or their region held it down. It's good to see those who are pillars in the game like a Snoop take a back seat and show what he was inspired by. It's fire. Queens get the money, man. Cherokee, what up, what up, what up, what up? I was there last night. It was absolutely incredible. Loved every performance. And those in the chat last night, right? Some people were upset, like, yo, the crowd ain't going crazy. You can never really, truly feel the impact of a crowd through a live stream because sometimes it's not mic'd up. But I'm pretty sure the energy in there was crazy. Y'all going by those $500 and $600 seats, that area in the front. The energy is in the balcony, dog. And we're not going to understand or even know how it was up in there because the live stream ain't going to pick up that energy. But trust me when I tell you, any concert you go to, the balcony, that's where the energy at. You may not be able to see everything the way that you want to visually, but the energy, that's where it's at. T.I. did his thing. It was fire, man. It was definitely fire. Once again, if you just came in on a live in the chat, I want you to put your favorite moment. Your favorite moment. Start here, Cherokee. The crowd was a mixture of old and young. My side was lit. And that's what hip hop is about, man. Like in the chat, a lot of people, as you was live streaming, had to turn it off for a bit because they're like, yo, where Nas at? That wasn't a Nas concert. It's hip hop 50th. Sometimes you got to be patient. You got to sit through the A Boogies with the hoodie. He made his contribution. He at home is the BX. And he put on a pretty good show. This was about everyone. It was about everyone. Old and new, man. Old and new. Run DMC. Shout out to them. Consummate showman. Did you see the show they put on? Even if you didn't even know the lyrics, if you're 15, 16 years old, just to watch how they set up their records. Dim the lights down. Now I want you to stand right here. Simple things. Rehearsal. Not a bunch of dudes walking back and forth just yelling and screaming. They put on a show. Like when you go to an R&B show, everything is in place. The bass player is not overplaying. The organist is not too loud. Guitar player not screaming all over the place because they rehearse. Same thing with hip hop. In and out. Where we standing. How we transitioning from song to song. It was a master class last night, ladies and gentlemen. It was a master class. It was a master class. And it was a beautiful thing to see your favorite artist fan out. Nas was a fan last night. When Lauren was on that stage, Esco was a fan. Because I think he understands the position he's in as well. He did it for that. Not just him, Master Apparel, whomever, all the sponsors. But how many other people can get Lauryn Hill to come outside? How many people can do that? Shout out to everybody who was there and everybody who tuned in. What a beautiful thing, man. What a beautiful thing. What a beautiful thing. Your favorite part of the show in the chat right now. I don't know where we should start. I don't know. What in the comments, let me know. Where should we start? We'll start there. Because there's so much to speak about, man. So much to speak about. KRS. The KRS-One was on the bully mode on the low last night. That bridge is over, man. That joint made him feel good to state that. That was fire, though. That was incredible. Fat Joe had a very good set as well. Had a very good set. Everybody did their thing. Everyone. Everyone, man. Shout out to Lil Wayne drummer, too. The one-man band. Incredible. Incredible. Let's get to it. We got super chat here. Robert Hunt was good. I am so proud of New York and just America. Nas made this possible. Lauren made me cry. T.I., Common, DMC, KRS, Dougie, Joe and Wayne. Nas from Madison Square to Yankee Stadium. The GOAT, Cool Herc, got his crown. A beautiful thing, man. I can't really say anything else about that. You said it all. You said it all. And everyone made it their business to continue to show props to Cool Herc. Whether verbally, you can just sense the energy. Last night was his night. Last night was his night, man. KRS won. Oh, I'm forgetting. Kid Capri. Did he not prove and solidify or remind everyone that he may be the world's greatest DJ? Transitions. What songs to play? When to allow the crowd to sing the joint? When to fall back? And if that's not enough, I'm going to end my set by bringing out Derek Jeter. Fire. Shout out to the Bronx, man. Shout out to Brooklyn. It was incredible. Kid Capri was fire. We're going to get this out the way now. What happened to your video addressing the Melly Mel versus M situation? I like what you said on that. Seems like the net ghosted it. Can't find it. It's up there for sure. It's up there. It's the last video I uploaded. Melly Mel did his thing last night, and I love the fact that he kept it about the moment as well. I was hoping that he didn't even bring all that stuff up, and he didn't. It's a beautiful thing. That's what hip-hop is about. You say what you guys say, I say what I got to say. But when it's time to put on a show for the people, it ain't about me. You know what I'm saying? We're going to handle what we came here to handle. And they were consummate showmen. But that video is definitely up there. Or at least I believe it is. It's up there. For sure. Listen, man, there's so much to talk about. Kid Capri was the ultimate vet and showman. You know what? Like sometimes the DJ, as you get older, you kind of not forget, but you need to be reminded of their importance, right? Because you go to less and less parties or events where the DJ is prominent. But when you see an individual like Kid Capri in that setting, is a reminder once again that they're not just DJs. Those dudes are musicians. Knowing, like a musical director, knowing what to play, that's not easy. It's not easy. That was fire, man. That was incredible. That was incredible. G-Rap's breath control is still top tier. Yeah, that was crazy. It is. But like I was stating too, a lot of the OGs are that way, right? You can tell that they still remain sharp. Whether it's even if they just rehearsing their old verses, like it's still there. Like Snoop, throughout his performance, it was here. You never got the sense that he was getting out of breath. He was relaxed. He stayed within himself. Even though he was burning it down too. They're professionals. That's what you're supposed to get when you go to a show. That was a show. Shout out to everybody who was in the building who witnessed that. Even if you was at home, I'm going to state it again. Turn that volume up loud enough. You felt like you was in the building. It's crazy. I like that Cash stepped in for Big Bank Hank. That was a beautiful thing, right? I'm overcharging dudes for what they did to the Cold Crush. Cass is a problem. He's a problem. And I believe legend is he ghost wrote that, right? Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I believe that Cass wrote that, right? He's referring to who is it? Sugar Hill Gang. Oh yeah. Great comment right here. This is why the comments are very important, because it was so much that happened. I may forget some things. Transitions, what to play, how to play, his blends. He reminded everyone how important that New Orleans is in hip hop as well. But he added his own twist too. Manny Fresh is an incredible producer. Check his credits if you don't know. You've partied to some of his hits and probably don't even know that he did it. The production, he is who he is. Incredible. There were some DJs set the bar so high that the others seemed as though they weren't on par. But we ain't gonna get into that. We just shining on the great things that happened last night. But it was good to see a lot of individuals get the shine that they most definitely deserve, man. Most definitely deserve. So, who else was it? Ice Cube. Cube set was fire too. Like it's fire to see how his influence, how he's influenced by New York as well. Obviously, we've always spoken about how Bomb Squad produced his first album. I'm glad Ebro stated that too, because a lot of New York cats don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like his first album, he flew over to the East Coast and got that done. And to see him go down his range of hits while always paying homage to those who came before him, because he sampled a lot of music too. But it was a good day. My favorite Ice Cube song happens to be "You Know How We Do It." He got that off as well. Shout out to Dub C. Just the consummate professionalism, man. Like I don't know how many times or many different ways I can state that. They were professionals out there. They were definitely professionals out there. What about Cam? Cam did an incredible job last night. He did. A lot of people after that versus situation kind of forgot about his impact and what he done. You may not like his entire discography, but there was a vast improvement from that moment in the verses to last night. The preparation, it was there. It was definitely there. It was a good day, man. Cam had a great set. I'm looking at the flyer right now. It was all fire. T.I. He brought the energy up when he came out. And I said in the chat yesterday, he finally got his verses moment. Remember, T.I. was like trying to set up a verses with someone, because I didn't agree with his approach, but you can tell that he just wanted to remind people that, yo, I'm nice. I got hits too. And what bigger stage last night? Sometimes in life, when you patient, it'll all come together. And he had an opportunity, and he definitely delivered, man. T.I. did his thing. Common. Who's more hip hop than Common? Like, Common is the epitome of hip hop. He loves it. Don't get the Hollywood stuff confused. Like all the elements from breakdancing, he's an MC. I believe he used to graffiti and all of that back in his early times. Like Common did his thing. There were no bad points in the show. At least for me, I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it. Even Shan may not agree with what happened leading up to it, but he got his moment. He hit the stage. They made it happen for him. It's a beautiful thing. I felt that all the artists performed as a fan of hip hop. None of them wanted to get off the stage. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, you got time constraints, but yeah, everyone just seemed happy to be there. I don't feel like we got shortchanged in any way. None whatsoever. None whatsoever. So here we go. Which performers are we starting with? What we gonna break down, man? Who we starting with? Put that in the chat. Where we gonna start? I already know what the answer gonna be, but let's just start there. Hip hop. Starting What we got here? Stadium record for sure. It's a stadium record. One of them that organic, and it's the epitome of what hip hop is, right? Just a break beat, some stabs, a loop, and just energy. Nas has become such a he's becoming a great performer now. Like he came out of his shell, right? Like last night, you sense that. I sensed that one was at the Garden as well, but I've been to some of his earlier shows, like maybe 10 years prior, and you can see the maturation process. Like he's a showman. He's not just up there reciting lyrics. He working the crowd. Transitions is there. Fire. All right, so we're gonna start with Don. Don. What we got? Nas and Lauryn Hill. First off, Esco came out after it was after Snoop, right? Was it after Snoop? Yeah, it was after Snoop. What was Nas' first song? Obviously, it was New York State of Mind, right? I seen the band, the equipment set up, but I had no idea what was gonna happen because I've seen Nas perform with a live band. So I didn't know what to take from that. I'm not gonna sit here in front like I knew Lauryn Hill was coming out. I hope that she would have been there, but I had no idea. None whatsoever. So when I seen the drummer and them get there and he made the transition and nobody came on, like those who were in the audience, you'll probably never, no one will probably ever witness that song being performed again. I think we said that last week. Like when you can get an opportunity to go to a show, do it if you can, because there's moments that you may not ever relive. Like they may do a show again in the future, but she may come out for one song, If I Ruled the World, right? You've got an opportunity to see them perform something of KD2. Nobody. That's fire. Salute to you. Soulmatic, what up? Nobody verse. Clean. The band was clean. And I love the fact that, if you know that you're not going to remember the lyrics, let's just shut it down and transition. Because the energy is already in the room. It felt like they were up there having fun in a professional manner. Background vocals were clean. Her vocals, whether rhyming, singing, she's got to be top 5 most talented hip hop artists ever. Or we can say artists for that matter. She can produce. I think she plays piano as well. She did some acting. She's a great singer. She's a crooner. You know what I'm saying? Like she can actually sing. We ain't talking about just getting up in the studio. You can put her on the stage with individuals like Shaka Khan and she gonna get hers off. You know what I'm saying? And she's a lyricist. A reminder. Like, I can do this when I want to. Fire. What we got here? Jay Boogie, what up, man? So grateful for the 3 words that gave us our culture, hip hop culture. What would we be without one? One mic. That's a fact. Hip hop has given us all another life. It has, man. Hip hop is a beautiful thing. Sometimes we get caught up in all the other stuff, man. Cats with the tension. There's always going to be competitive nature, but when we get into the corny tension, sometimes that become the headlines and we got to reel it in a bit. But last night just showed that when the culture as a whole want to get on the same page, it's possible, man. It's definitely possible. It's definitely possible. Crazy. Nas had a hard act to follow after Snoop brought Dogg and Slick Rick too. He did. He definitely did. Snoop was out there applying pressure about just sitting back. Because, Dougie, the way he ended that set, it ain't too many artists that can come behind that. And it ain't even a matter of having the star status. Sometimes, like if Nas happens to be an individual who has a catalog, so he has many different avenues he can go. So no matter who's performed, if you in New York City, if you play New York State of Mind, that's always going to be a great entry point. You know what I'm saying? But for most artists coming behind what Dougie Fresh did, that ain't easy. A showman. That's what makes you GOAT status or God tier in the sense that it's a lot of people who can rap, but who can command that stage? Who got the catalog to keep up? Who knows when to play the records? Who has sense enough to hire the correct DJ that knows how to transition if something goes wrong? Synergy, chemistry. That's what it's about, man. DeAndre Lee, I appreciate you. Life is good. What we got here? I was anticipating Nas at any moment after Cube came out. I was nervous for Nas. Like, what is he going to come out to? The Genesis was perfect. It set the perfect tone for Nas to get off. Yep. Because he understanding is something like that's a mixed crowd, right? So obviously, those who like Run DMC, they probably transition to who's there to see Run DMC. They are aware of Illmatic, right? That's why it's important to have a catalog, right? To where you're active for so many different years. Pardon me, you can have so many different entry points, like I stated before. The Genesis. If you listen to Illmatic, you know that right off the bat. You know where we're going with it. We setting the tone. Then we're going right to track 2. What's that? Fire. I'm glad you said this. Because I've been to Nas shows, right? And a lot of people who don't seem to like the You Owe Me of Nostradamus. Every time I go to a show when he performs that, both ladies and men go crazy. And I be saying to myself, so all the people who don't like this record, who are they? Because the stadium be going crazy. That joint ring off in the joint, man. When you at a concert and that drop, the energy in the room is crazy. Common's freestyle was underrated. Nas saying we'll be back next year. Maybe yearly is epic. I owe you a drink for your contributions, Eeze. Next event. Appreciate that, man. Toast to that. Shout out to y'all, man. Hip hop took it to billions. I knew we would. Like, son, what a time, man. You realize what we're witnessing? This is epic. This is the equivalent of being a basketball fan and you were able or alert enough to understand the importance of the NBA 50, top 50th. Remember those celebrations? We see all the OGs come out, get their jackets, as well as the current players who were able to meet that threshold. It's crazy. Hip hop is still a baby. It's only 50 years old. And look what they've accomplished. From Marcy to Madison Square, from Madison Square to Yankee Stadium. Incredible. Antoine, what I seen you in the chat last night too. The show was great. Run DMC set was crazy. If I'm being honest, I thought they had the best performance. When we talk about performing, because some of us get caught up in catalog, the songs that we like and what we typically listen to, right? That's what's on your playlist, right? When we talking about putting a show together, Rev Run, man, the way he commands an audience and knows exactly where you should stand when you're performing, where he wants the lights, when he wants them dimmed, when he wants them to hit on the accents. That's rehearsal. That's dedication. And if I believe I heard them correctly, right? That's their last show, right? Did somebody state that? You get an opportunity to see Run DMC for the last time? I could have sworn somebody said that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, though. It was fire. Shout out to everybody who was in the building, man. Do you realize how long that live stream was? You were entertained for how long? Even the ads in between were hip hop. Like, it was crazy. It was crazy. It was sponsored by Major League Baseball, but you didn't get any ads where Major League Baseball was pushing their promotional package or like their for lack of a better term, their league pass or trying to sell tickets. Everything was around hip hop. It was done the right way. 8 hours. 8 hours. 8 hours. That's crazy. That's a whole work shift. If you was at work, you were able to get through an entire work shift because they provided entertainment for you. Incredible. I was there for 8 hours from beginning to end. Cherokee epic. Yo, that's crazy. That's dedication. You got some people who are on their feet for 8 hours. So that's why you can't even get upset with a crowd. If you somewhere for 8 hours, and you got to think about the commute time. Some people, that was a Friday. That wasn't a weekend when some people were off on the weekends and you have the entire day to prepare. Some people worked 8 hours, rushed home or went to local hotel, went to their friend's house, showered, changed their clothes, and then went to Yankee Stadium. That's a full day's work. That's dedication. Shout out to hip hop, man. Humble Bragger, what up? Fat Joe, Nas, Run DMC, best performances of the night. Listen, there are no wrong answers to that. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever you guys state was the best performance, it just got to be that because everybody ate last night. And I think everybody had enough time to get off, right? I don't think anyone was on that stage and you felt like, they should have gave him 5 more minutes. It was perfect. It was perfect. And I watched that joint from beginning to end. Literally. I watched it from beginning to end and never felt like I wanted to turn it off. There were no cringe moments. Well, there was one cringe moment. What's the young lady from Hot 97? TT Torres. I wasn't really digging like that. That was, but we ain't getting into all of that. No negativity. But when Ebro and Laura Styles and Rosenberg came out, and you can see the difference between them emceeing and those who came before them. Shout out to Ralph McDaniels as well. But it was fire, man. It's hard to keep a crowd entertained that long. And when you sitting in that area, like next to the stage, if you got, like, think about this. What about if you got to go to the restroom and all of that? What do you do? That's dedication. Shout out to hip hop, man. Shout out to hip hop. Ralph McDaniels, man, a pillar. Video Music Box. If you haven't done so, go check out their. I think Nas did a documentary with them. Yeah. Master Pill Day. Check that out. That's fire. I think it's on Showtime. Incredible. Oh, Tamara, this is a beautiful comment right here. Shout out to the production team, especially the lighting crew. It was instrumental to the show. The graphics were dope, and it helped all the elements shine. That's a great comment. I'm gonna tell you why. Because some people were complaining about the sound. You got to understand too. When they're live streaming, it's so many different artists. Even though it's YouTube, it can still get flagged for copyright infringement. You know what I'm saying? Because some of those older records, even though the sample was probably cleared, when you do that content ID situation on YouTube, like if you do a live stream right now, if I were to put probably a Nas record up here, it's a possibility I can get struck or flagged and it'll shut right off. So I think a lot of that was strategic as well. Like those who were like complaining about the audio, it wasn't perfect at all times, but at the same time, whether perfect or not, you had an opportunity to witness it because they could have been stingy with this. They could have said, you know what, those who ain't there, that's your business. We're going to package this up. In about 6 months, it's going to go on the Master Pill's website and you're going to have to purchase it. No, they didn't do that. They could have made a whole documentary out of this and made you wait. Yeah, I ain't gonna get into that politician situation. You know that comes with it when you're dealing with sponsors. And think about it, it is hip hop, and we know the reputation that comes with us. And for us to be able to get Yankee Stadium, sometimes you got to play the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the governor and all that got to come out. Just have your moments. You know what I'm saying? Proclamations and certificates. That's just part of the game. You got to honor because Kool Herc, he's not a performer, and at this stage of his career, I don't think he can DJ as well. I don't know what his health is like. So when you take those pauses in between to have him honored, no matter who it is a beautiful thing, right? Because that's the only way that we're going to constantly keep the light on him, because it's not like he's Rev Run and can get on stage and perform. So the politicians, we may not agree with that, but like I stated before, to get into some of these venues as a hip hop crowd, because you know what they think about hip hop and conversations, for them to be able to get Yankee Stadium, that's fire. So you got to play the game. So surprised Hot 97 was involved like that. Ebro and the crew stay hating on Nas. I don't know why the decision was made, but I will say this. For whatever you think about Ebro is very good at what he does. Like if you give him a mic and he needs to speak to a crowd or know the history about something or make a transition or just keep it hip hop, because he's very astute and informative when it comes to our culture. He did a great job. He did a great job. Because no matter how you feel about Esco, whether you hating on him or not, we got to give him credit for everybody being there last night. So he always gonna get the win, because there's many people in this culture who got the money, who got the resources, who weren't there last night, who didn't perform last night, and who never made anything like that happen. Nas is a fan of hip hop. He's Nas, he's Escobar, he's Mr. Jones, whatever you want to call him. But he was a fan last night. And you have to be a fan to be able to put something like this on, because he could have made it about himself. I really believe that. If he wanted to, he could have just made it about himself. But all the legends had an opportunity to eat. Everybody ate last night. I'm not talking about checks. I don't know about any of that stuff. That's their business. But I'm talking about, there was a 16-year-old somewhere who was introduced to Grandmaster Cass last night. And now they're going to go down a rabbit hole because they love hip hop that much. Or they want to get into hip hop and all they know is drill music, right? Which is, if that's their thing, that's their thing. But now they've been introduced to how you perform your records on the stage. And now that's on YouTube to live forever. So they can run it back and run it back and run it back. For lack of a better term, no, it's not even a lack of a better term. Last night was a history lesson. We always state that here, right? How we forget that hip hop is bigger than music. This is our history. If we don't tell a story, who will? So if we don't take those times to bring Kool Herc out on the stage, give him hugs, and constantly tell the audience who may have come late what he meant to this culture, who else is going to do it? If we don't celebrate Hip Hop 50th, who will? We're going to wait for other individuals to put out documentaries, but they're going to miss key components. You're not going to get an opportunity to see Craig G if Amazon produces it. But if you got a fan like Nas involved in the entire process, he was there from the very beginning, and he can tap on those who came before him, and they can get the history correct. You can call a Ralph McDaniels, who has damn near a library of video from the beginning to now. Resources. It was a beautiful thing. The right people were involved. It was not watered down. It wasn't watered down at all, man. We're in a good place, man. Antoine, what up? I could not sleep after the show. I was playing so many videos from all the artists that perform. Might pull the vinyls out today. As you should. You deserve that. And sometimes it's a reminder. You be like, damn, I forgot about that record. Or you know about it, but you forget the importance. Like, even when Havoc came out, and I remember when they signed a G Unit, and many people were upset. I actually enjoyed it because I like to see Queens come together, right? To see him perform This Is How We Do, that's a stadium record. Whether you like that era of Mobb Deep or not, you can't deny that. That joint rang off. Run them catalogs up. Run them up today. Whatever you seen last night, run it up. I wish he performed Hood to Hood as a banger. That would have been fire as well. It would have been. I get the sense that he probably had more songs lined up, but I don't know. And I appreciate it. I like the fact that Lauryn Hill got busy last night. I just think that he sat back and let her have her opportunity, because something tells you that there's no way that Memory Lane wasn't supposed to be part of that set last night. The way it was performed at the Garden, there's no way that that last verse wasn't supposed to be performed a cappella in Yankee Stadium. But him being a fan, stepping back, and listen, I don't know all of this stuff to be true, but I know you go to enough shows and you know what works. There's no way he's coming off the Garden performance and got that epic ovation, and that very song wasn't added to his playlist or his set list. But he let Lauryn Hill eat. And it was a great thing for female artists who may be getting into the game to see some other options. Because sometimes if you're not a real hip hop head, people forget Lauren's contribution because it was so quick. It was very quick. That window was very short. It was very impactful, but Lauren's window, and it was her own decision. It wasn't like she fell off. It was her own decision. It was very compact. You know what I'm saying? She did a lot in a very short span. This is a great point too. Nas's like was left out too. Yeah, so you got to think about it. All those records that we know that ring off, that go crazy, he didn't perform a lot of them. And I'm not here to even complain about it. I'm not going to complain about it because we got to see Lauryn Hill perform. And last night wasn't about Nas. Let me tell you so much how you know it wasn't about Nas. Nas didn't even headline. He gave it to Run DMC. That's fire. Who else is doing that? We got cats out here arguing over who gonna finish the show. Like that means something. Just go up there and do your thing. He was a fan last night. That used to be a thing. Like, yo, I'm headlining. I'm headlining. He could have said, yo, I'm going last. Nah, gave it to Run DMC. Why? Because without them, without any of the forefathers, but Run DMC in particular, to this day, when we talk about hip hop artists who were able to cross over but still remain hip hop, how many artists or groups that you can really state that? Like they never went pop. We're not gonna say Walk This Way is pop. No, rock and roll came until their arena because that's still hip hop. It's just like sampling live guitars or rock and roll guitars. It's still over a brick. Like fire. 50K saw G-Rap. I think I stated that 2 weeks ago. That's on my bucket list. I want to see G-Rap. I missed that opportunity, but I did see him get his flowers through the live stream. But 50,000 people, now they know who G-Rap is. Because we're not going to act like, even though we know people who they are within the culture because we're in it, but there were a lot of people. It was corporate people there last night. That was just an event for them to take their families out. But they may have a 12 or 13-year-old. All they know is Ice Spice. But now they know who Nas is. Now they're familiar with G-Rap. Now they know KRS-One. It's always about history. That's why I take pride on this platform, like keeping it about discourse. We don't get into all that other stuff and who was wearing and who had work done on their body. Now let's keep it music. Because at the end of the day, it's about the hits, right? It's about the song. It's about how it made you feel. And I'm telling you, whether you got on that live stream at 6 o'clock or at 10 o'clock, you went to bed smiling last night like my beloved hip hop won. So all that stuff they've been talking about, hip hop hasn't had a #1 album all year. What other genre did what happened last night? Nobody. In 2023, what other genre, whether you talking rock and roll, whether you talking jazz, whether you talking country music, folk music, Afrobeat, the list goes on and on. Nobody, no other genre did what we did last night. Not this year. So forget all that who went #1 and how many #1 albums hip hop had or the drought that we have in this year. Damn all that. Damn all that. We won last night. We won. We won. Hey, yo, Eeze, did you peep how Rock Nation sabotaged the soundboard on Nas and Lauren? The crowd didn't show proper respect to G-Rap. You know what it is, though? I wasn't there because I've been to like some shows, and then you'll see like the playback on the live stream, and it doesn't feel the same, right? Like when you in the building, because it's always gonna be that one area. Like I stated before, I think you came on a little later. When you in the show and they live streaming, they only get in particular areas, right? Those who are right there near the stage, or they may do like the overcam where you get just looking down on the crowd. But up in that balcony, let me tell you something. I wasn't there, but I've been in the balcony at concerts. G-Rap was like the president up there. I know they was going crazy. I'm willing to bet it all. Everything I possess in life, I'm willing to bet up in that balcony. When G-Rap came out, it was a different energy. I'm willing to bet up in that balcony when Big Noise came out with Havoc, It was a different energy. I'm telling you, it gets crucial up there because that's where the B-side lovers are. They're in the balcony. They just want to go have a good time, burn it down, get their drinks, and have a good time with their crew. Beautiful thing, man. Nas is playing chess, and writing Hot 97 was strategic. Listen, man, I don't put nothing past Nas. That's a thinking man. He's a thinker. He's going to think it through, very analytical. And sometimes, got to remind cats, and they force him to give him his flowers. But, like I read the interview in the Billboard magazine, they've been putting this together for about 6 or 7 years. Not that event per se, but they looked down the road. They were proactive. All right, we got the 44th anniversary. We need to start building this up. And look where it is now. And like someone stated in the comment section, he stated how they may do it next year. Hip hop can become a festival event at Yankee Stadium annually. I'm going to say it again. Don't talk to me about hip hop not having no #1 records this year on Billboard. I don't care about none of that. Who did what we did last night? No other genre. No other genre did what we did last night. Yankee Stadium in the Mecca. It all came together, man. Like Nas said, it's all science. It all came together, man. It all came together. It all came together. Seeing G Rap on stage with Nas in 2023. That was one of the last things I thought I'd see last night. I was getting worried because I didn't see him come out with the Juice Crew. I was like, yo, G Rap ain't going to be here. But here's the most telling part. And this is the most beautiful part of it all. Nas was a G Rap fan last night. He's always been a fan. And we always get in these comments about who inspired Nas and who he got his style from. And if it wasn't for this one, it would be no Nas. The way he spoke of G Rap last night, and he was fanning out how infectious his affection towards him last night, that showed me all I need to know. Just because he ain't calling him for features on Magic and KD 1, 2, and 3, don't mean Cat still don't be in touch. G-Rap comes across as an individual who never wanted that. You know what I'm saying? He just like to do what he do, stay out the way. But he got an opportunity to perform at Yankee Stadium with almost 50,000 people there. Think about that. From Fast Life to that. Although he had much more than that, the symphony and all of that, but I'm just highlighting the fact that from Fast Life to Yankee Stadium, and it didn't happen overnight because we're so big on overnight success. It's a constant build. Fast Life is what, 94, 95. It's 2023. That's a slow grind. It's a marathon, slow burn. And you still ascending. If he want to hit the road, he good. He's good. He's good. Antoine, I see you. From MSG, I'm going to keep saying it, to Yankee Stadium. 6-month span. Who else is doing that? And this is the one. Vanguardian TV, what up? I seen you in the chat. You was giving up for every borough too, man. Every borough that came on stage, this man right here made sure he showed love. Even Nola, Louisiana, all of that. Whoever was on the stage, for whatever reason, your comments kept highlighting on the live stream. But yo, everybody was a fan last night. If you was watching that show last night, acting as if certain artists is not your taste, I don't like this, I don't like, you ungrateful. You're ungrateful. A Boogie had to be on the show. He had to. First of all, he's from the Bronx. Look at what he's accomplished in a short span of time. But there were 14, 15, 16, 17-year-olds in the crowd who came just to see him. Ma, Dad, could you take me to the show? I don't know anyone else who's going to be on it, but A Boogie's going to be on it. And then Mom, Dad looking at the flyer like, hold on, Run DMC going to be here? Nas going to be there? Oh, we going out. We making this a family outing. That's what hip hop is all about, man. I'm going to say it again. No other genre did what we did last night. Nobody. Wu-Tang, Ghost Cop Methods, Inspector Deck, Capadonna. Yo, I didn't even think Capadonna was there. And I love the way, shout out. I don't know who was DJing from. Was Mathematics there? Transitions was crazy. Beat switch ups. And what I love about Wu, especially Meth in particular, Meth don't have an issue playing hype man. He know how to get out the way. He know how to shine, but still play the back. Like that's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing. Nas could have called anyone, and he got G-Rap. That's thank you. That tells me all I need to know. All that talk about who inspired him, and he got G-Rap outside. G-Rap. He got G-Rap outside. G-Rap. A lot of people, you don't understand. Yo, Cool G-Rap is a problem. Been a problem. He's been a problem. He is the genesis to a lot of people's style. A lot of people took from G-Rap. Not just Nas, because the people like that, not just Nas. Jay got some G-Rap in him. Big damn sure has some G-Rap in him. A lot of cats got G-Rap. A lot of people in your top 5 took pieces of G-Rap out. I'm telling you, man. All appearances were dope, but Nas pulled out. Listen, that's in the comments a lot, man. And I just randomly selected that one. All appearances were dope, but Nas pulled out G-Rap and Lauryn Hill. That both of those sink in. Yeah, because you may not ever witness that again. It's a beautiful thing. If you just now coming up in here, man, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Smash that like button. What y'all think about the females, what they label it? The Queens of Hip Hop set. In 2 words or less. Put that in the chat. We had Lil Kim, Remy, and was it Trina? Trina. I know Scarlett came out a little later. Big, damn sure got G-Rap in him. Early Jay-Z was definitely G. It was. And we all inspired by somebody. Same here. This is a great comment. Tori, I seen you in the chat yesterday too. A lot of us was in there heavy, man. We were straight fans last night. Them old heads is trash in the chat. They were so mad at A Boogie. My fan was going crazy when he came on. Listen, I'm not gonna act like I know all A Boogie hits. I don't really listen to his music, but I know who he is. I've heard his joint. And he put on a great show last night. You can tell that he took the moment serious. At any moment, did you say, yo, this kid melded in? He just singing the backing tracks, or he got the call 6 months ago and he never rehearsed? No, you can tell who rehearses a lot, and you can tell who's on the road a lot as well. There's a lot of people, because the majority of the show, if not all, are very polished performers. And he had to come out because of his accomplishments. A young man, think about what he's done within the culture. You don't really hear his name in scandals and stuff like that, drama and all of that. And then the Bronx borough president comes out and gives him a proclamation as well. They were honoring a lot of individuals. It's a moment. He's from the Bronx. A young man like that was able to garner some success. And now you get an opportunity to perform at the very stadium and you may have grown up down the block from. Come on, fam. Come on, dog. So whether you appreciate it or like his music or not, you got kids, you got grandkids, right? That could be them. That's fire. Crazy. Yeah, but even with the Trina situation, like I think they was just trying to touch on or hit every region. You know what I'm saying? Like it's easy for us to say, yo, I wanted Latifah, I wanted Light, I wanted Moni Love, I wanted Remy Ma, I wanted Lauryn Hill. That's all tri-state. I'm saying like you got to give other individuals an opportunity to shine. But there's probably some people in the audience who happen to love Trina. That would have been dope. Naughty by Nature definitely would have been fire. But some people probably were reached out and they didn't want to do it. And that's okay. Maybe they just wanted to be fans for the moment. Or maybe they removed themselves even though they got a catalog. Like Eve isn't active like that. Maybe she just wanted to spend time with the family. Whether maybe she's shooting a movie. Maybe she was on vacation. Maybe somebody in her family had a wedding. We don't know. But those who were there showed out. They showed up and showed out, man. Antoine, you speak. I don't listen, man. We on the same wavelength today because I really believe that some of A Boogie's young fans probably got put on to some classics for the first time last night, and that's what it's about, man. Like you can't get upset with young cats for not acknowledging the past, but then when you can put them in a position to learn the history, you don't want them there. That was A Boogie was fire last night. His DJ was on point, good transitions. He knew when to speak. He didn't fumble over his words. He took it, and you can tell in his face that he was happy to be there. Think about that. You in the room with all those legends, and they know who you are, and your pops probably spoke about them, or your uncles, or even your mom, for that matter, spoke about them. Because we got to think about this. We're in a generation now where someone like A Boogie, when he was going to school, or mom or whoever was taking him to school, they was probably playing Lil Wayne or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got to understand the generations as well. So he had an opportunity to perform with Lil Wayne. That's fire. Jay-Z would have been good on the show, to be honest with you. That would have been fire. It would have been. It definitely would have been. I think they all should have been there. In a sense, I've not been there to perform, but I think they all should have been a part of it. It's hip hop 50th. Everyone should have been like, you know what? This is the culture that fed me. I'm gonna make it happen. But to his credit, or I don't know his schedule. Maybe he has something else going on. But he was a fan during the Grammy celebration, so it is what it is. Shout out to Too Short too. This seems to be a lot of people's favorite moment. Seeing both Snoop and Slick Rick perform Lottie Dottie together. Dougie was an epic hip hop moment. Yeah, that's gonna be one you play back for a while. That's gonna be fire. Slick Rick is cool as hell, ain't he? OG is cool, dog. Yeah, effortless, right? I'm just gonna stand here. I'm just, but it's natural. It ain't no forced cool. You know what I'm saying? Like Slick Rick is smooth. Shout out to Slick Rick. Well, I didn't even think about that. Would have been dope if Nas and A Boogie performed YKTV. Only thing with that is who's like if A Boogie would have to perform that and bring Nas out because I don't think Nas gonna put that on his set. But that just goes to show you Nas's catalog, right? A Boogie on the show, young man, he got a record with him. So whenever he needs to pull that out, and it's not for clout, it's a quality song, he can do so. That's why it's important to collaborate. Don't get stuck in your lane or your era and start thinking that every other era is beneath you. You got to stay active. Even if you hoop, whatever it is, if you don't stay around the young gunners, you're going to get complacent and it's going to get ugly for you. We got here Tamara Anthony. I expected more young, dope artists as much as late 90s, 2000 generation complain about not having the touch pass properly. Y'all need to stop. What artists, if you could, give me 3 artists that you would have expected to be there. Because you know who was missing last night, but I don't know his schedule. I would have liked to see Q-Tip come outside. I thought he was going to come outside for a bit. That would have been fire. But we don't know what Cat's going on. He's a producer. He's a DJ as well. We don't know what gig he had overseas. And there's a lot of people who was there that we probably don't even realize, like a Primo. I'm willing to bet that he was up in the building, but sometimes you just want to be a fan and take it all in. Sometimes you just want Kendrick. Yeah, that would, yeah. Listen, Don, I'm glad you said that. Whatever you think about Kendrick, because a lot of people were stuck on this Mr. Morale and all that. Kendrick is a phenomenal and exceptional performer. You look at his shows, he takes the time. He knows what songs to select for a set list. The production value was A1. That would have been fire. Because you don't got to do your whole catalog. There's 5 or 6 songs and we out of here. And he can definitely do that. That would have been fire. 50, I thought 50 was going to come on, but he got his own thing going. They was just at the Barclays, right? Back-to-back nights, right? So he's touring. And ain't no telling who's on that tour with him as well. So those who were there, it is what it is. Some people said Kanye. I don't know. Kanye probably removed himself. from the whole culture at this moment in the sense. Like I think he probably got some other things going on, but that would have been fire because he had some production being played last night for sure. If you ever forgot how busy Kanye got, T.I. reminded you. Who else is playing Kanye records? Cam did a Kanye record. Common did a Kanye record. Yeah. Swagger Like Us. I forgot how dope those drums were, man. Them joints is ringing off. Some of those artists is on tour with LL last night in Baltimore. He had a forced tour with the Roots. Yeah, so it's a lot going on. So we can't, because I think I did a video. Shout out to L, Nas, and the Roots. They got a lot going on. Last week was the Rock the Bells Festival in Queens. So they have a whole tour going on. So all that flying back and forth, and you got to prepare for your own situation. Yeah, because LL on that show would have been a problem. But everyone made up for it. What we think about Lil Kim's performance last night? Kim got some joints, man. People be forgetting. Kim definitely got joints. We got here, no Ludacris on Eminem, nope on LL. Fire show. Luda is in a different bag too. We don't know if he was shooting a movie. You can't get everybody on it. Think about this. They were live streaming for 8 hours. The show was 8 hours, at least to my estimation, because 6 o'clock. Yeah, it was about 8 hours. Who are we taking off the show? You gonna take T.I. off? Because that portion of the show, they went regional. So you got the T.I. Cameron Common, right? EPMD, Havoc, Ghostface, Lupe. So we got two Midwest, Lupe and Common, Slick Rick, and we had T.I. Are you taking off T.I. for Luda? You gonna take off Wayne? Because they were representing the South. Lil Kim situation, that was the ladies set. So we had Lil Kim, Remy Ma, and Trina, right? A Boogie, even if you wanted to take him off, he was representing the Bronx. You can't take him off. Kid Capri, we definitely not taking him off the show. Fat Joe brought out KRS-One. So I think we checked all boxes. So even if you wanted a particular artist, who are you willing to take off? And that's a great one. I seen Scarface in the chat. But the only thing is, who we going to take off the joint? Because we can't take time away from because Grandmaster Cash and them and Melly Mel, that was early on in the show. So they kind of opened it up. Even though it was great performances, they were like the opening acts. And they was trying to shed light on New York City. They were very intentional about their approach. So every region got an opportunity to eat. Like even from the West artists were like headliners. We had Snoop and Ice Cube. You can't take away their contributions. What would hip hop be without them? So although it was a bunch of artists who didn't get an opportunity to perform last night, or who we may have wanted to see, who are we taking off? Unless you wanted a Nas and Cool G rap situation where you're gonna have one of those stars sit back and bring them out for a song. But Snoop did that. He gave you Dougie Fresh. He also gave you Scarlett. He gave you who else? I'm bugging. Slick Rick. He brought out Wiz. Wayne looked out for BX. He brought out Corey Guns. Everybody did what they were supposed to do last night. The programming and logistics of the show was God tier to even bring as many heavy hitters as we're able to experience. It's hard to do that. You're right. Because people have a lot going on. I don't think it's anyone on the show you could have taken off. Only way to make what our fantasy or what we're seeking possible is to take or make the show longer. You have a 10-hour live stream. I think the show was over almost after 1 o'clock. And it seemed to be a delay, right? I would have took Scarface over Cube. Sorry. Listen, T. Johnson, you my nah, we're not doing that. I love Scarface. But what Cube brought to the show, Wreck Yourself, How We Do. He did No Vaseline, right? Um, it was a good day. Nah, Cube is a pillar of the West. Lil Wayne, because if you think about how the show was billed, right? Run DMC were the closers, right? But they had the what is it called? Uh, the bottom of the ninth, the walk off set. That was Nas, Snoop, West Coast, Nas East Coast, Lil Wayne, South, Wiz Khalifa, he's a special guest, and you got Cube as well. I don't know who we taking off. Cube did his thing last night. We're not doing that. Lil Wayne's set was phenomenal. Listen, I'm not one who got Wayne in my top 5 and all of that, but Wayne, y'all didn't like Wayne's performance? First of all, his stage presence is A1. Getting the crowd involved, um, letting them know how important they are to his career, showing love to the DJ, showing love to his one man band. He came prepared. Wayne did his thing. Wayne did his thing. Somebody said Camp Low. Nah, I didn't. I got my favorites too, but it's gonna be hard to get those individuals on. I showed some love to the OGs. MC Shan was good. Curtis Blow did his thing. Well, Curtis Blow was the first individual. Well, he highlighted to me last night or evening how important or how serious that the OGs take their performances. Listen, you can tell he practiced with the young guys, man. They had choreography. He was all in. And people forget his contribution. It may not be the style that you like, but you know those records. Even if you 12 or 13 years old, you heard those records somewhere, whether it's in a movie, whether it's um you shopping and they playing it on a playlist and Target somewhere. You've heard a Curtis Blow joint, man. Ladies and gentlemen, when we say certain individuals shouldn't have been there, and we get to the point where we're saying like such and such is better than this one, ain't about who's better. It's about representation. That's all they were doing last night. No one is saying the Locks or someone else isn't better than Lil Wayne. That's your preference. I get that, but we don't know what the Locks had lined up. We don't we don't know if Jada's touring. They get money all year long. People have obligations. It's business at the end of the day. And A Boogie they had to put on for the Bronx. Who else is from the Bronx that you were taking out was going to replace A Boogie and do an entire set? Because you had to feed the audience that was there. There were a lot of young people there. That's why when you do a bill like this, you touch all regions or you give something for everyone. And it makes it easier to sell tickets, right? Because you like, you know what? I'm going there to see Nas, but damn, I'm going to get a chance to see G-Rap. Oh, I ain't know Ice Cube can perform that way. Or Lil Wayne, damn, yo, I may not like his music like that. Not me per se, but someone may feel that way. But he puts on a great show. T.I., Cam, like there's nobody on the show who could have been replaced. T.I. is better than Lil Wayne. I don't understand the hype on Wayne's name. It ain't about Wayne. It ain't even hype no more. His contributions is undeniable. Wayne did everything. He sold records. He came up through the trenches as a young boy. He did the mixtape thing. Wayne, he tried to do a rock album. Like Wayne, a lot of the songs that he did last night may have not aged very well, like Lollipop. We're not gonna forget or act like he doesn't have something in that catalog he could have replaced it with. But there was somebody in that audience who came to hear that song. It's just what it is. Well, this is the world we live in now. The crowd was tired and most of them on their phones recording. Yeah, because they're trying to, it's the memory, A lot of people are not thinking that I'm gonna watch it back on my live stream. I'm sitting here, I'm 15 feet away. I may not ever see um, Snoop Dogg on stage again. I'm gonna record it. Like you're never gonna get the same energy that people would get 30 years ago because we're consumed with content or trying to record the moment as opposed to living in it. But you cannot go by that area that they were recording. People probably had their phones out in the nosebleed, but I'm pretty sure that energy up there was crazy, man. It was crazy. They acknowledged everybody. Pop got acknowledged. Shout out to Clark Kent, right? He did that set. Um, I think they did. I don't know if Clark Kent played anything from. He may. I'm not gonna because I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure he did. I'm pretty sure he did. Prodigy, but Prodigy got acknowledged because I think they did his verse on Shook Ones. Did they not? Mobb Deep was there, and Havoc constantly said Mobb Deep. Although Havoc was billed or he was on the flyer per se, he kept saying Mobb Deep. Prodigy and Havoc happens to be Mobb Deep. And in that chat, Prodigy was getting mad love. So the fans know. For me, like I may have not been there live at the time. Like I said it when I first started, I was kind of like kicking myself, like I should have went. But once the show was over, I was happy that I was already home and able because that commute was probably a headache. Could you imagine getting up out of there? That's why I think it was taking so long for the stadium to fill out because people had to work. And then you have to, there's a process. You don't just walk in like you're at your home and you just go straight to your seat. You have to do many different things. And then some people may have wanted to get drinks and all of that. There's a whole process before you get to your seat when you go into a venue. So I'm glad that I stayed home, man. At the end, I felt that way. When Coogee Rap came out, I was tight. Like, yo, I dropped Lauryn Hill. I dropped the ball. But when the show was over and Run DMC, that live stream, they hit the end button. It's like, yeah, I can go right to bed if I want to. I feel this could be the start of hip hop's new Super Bowl. Oh, that's fire. Yearly and Nas is Vince McMahon. Imagine if they moved it from city to city yearly. That could be dope. That definitely could be fire. That would, yeah. And then those individuals who may have wanted to see a Ludacris, maybe he can get on the 51st anniversary. You know what I'm saying? Like hip hop is still growing. Everybody couldn't make this roster, but at the same time, we didn't forget who you were because your contributions, whether you were Luda or a Jada who wasn't there last night, you add to the culture as a whole. And that was my thing, socially. That's the type of time I was on last night. I wasn't on no complaining because it was free. I didn't expect them to even make that available. Because I just went on YouTube and it just popped up at the top. It's like, yo, they're gonna live stream this. I hit the notify me button so I didn't forget. Then I had a whole concert at the crib. Early on, they was trying to work out the kinks with the volume. Stay patient. They worked it out. By the time DJ Hurricane got up there, it was knocking. And then I guess he had an issue with his computer. But by the time it was go time, Nas had technical difficulties, but that happens. It could be an array of different things, but it was free. We got a chance to peep that in real time. It was free. Some people spent almost $600-700 probably on those tickets. And you got a chance to witness it for free. Not to say it's the same thing, but I came away not feeling down and out because I remember when Nas and Wu were on tour before the Madison Square Garden show, and I was mad at myself because I didn't go to the Jersey show. And you will watch the footage on YouTube, and it was good to see him perform the B-sides, but the quality is different when it's coming from somebody's camera who's 1,100 feet away. It don't knock the same. But the live stream, for the most part, 85-90% of the show was good to go. So sick I miss Lauren, but I'm just glad Nas was able to get her to hit the stage with him. Yeah, that was fire, man. Shout out to Mass Appeal, Hip Hop 50th. And they were doing also a fundraiser, right? And those contributions were going to the Universal Hip Hop Museum. So it was an overall great night for hip hop, man. No one should complain, feel some kind of way. We all won last night. Everybody. TheEezeExperience, my bad, man. Some of those artists is on tour. I think we spoke on this with LL last night in Baltimore. We definitely did speak on that. But yeah, LL got it popping. He doing his own thing with the Rock the Bells joint. They had that concert last night. It's good to have options. So some people went to that show last week in Forest Hills. Some people went last night. I think the Forest Hills joint was live streamed too, right? I could have sworn I seen it live on YouTube. I could be wrong. But overall, we're in a good space, man. Michael Williams, what up, family? That was truly glorious. Shout out to Nas and Master Pill for orchestrating it. Nas has always been the ultimate ambassador for the culture. Yes, sir. You can say what you want. That man is a fan of hip hop as a whole, and it's in good hands. You want individuals who love the culture, who's been a part of it from the very beginning, to be in a position to make these decisions. And you see what happens. You get a performance or a show like that last night. Could you think about this? You're Nas, right? And you had an opportunity to be on a show with Run DMC. That's crazy. I don't think he ever thought that could be possible. They were so inactive for so long with the whole Jam J joint. People was going through things. Now they're outside. I think last night was their final show, but he had an opportunity. That's a bucket list. You're 50 years old and you still checking off things off your agenda. A lot of people, come on, man, hip hop is still growing. Our goats are still fans, and that's what makes it fun. When we get to the point where individuals think they're above it, that's when it becomes corny. Now, this is one thing I thought was going to happen. I thought AZ was outside. He brought him out of MSG, though. But you're right. You're right. I thought Life's a B was definitely going to be part of the set list, but I'm not upset about it because all the songs that he performed, I was cool with. I was cool with that. I was cool with that. And he brought him out at the Garden. So he got his joint off. Yeah, I stated that earlier, Jonathan. I thought he was going to do Memory Lane, but we're cool with that. We got Lauryn Hill. I feel like Nas is finally getting his flowers as the GOAT. Yes, I think so too. But last night also highlighted something for me as well. There's a huge demographic that believe Lil Wayne is the GOAT. And for whatever reason, that's their preference. But I'm never going to argue against that because Wayne tapped into something that I may not be able to understand, but he has a core audience that feel the same way about him that I may feel about Nas, and is well deserved. He deserves it. You can say what you want to say about Wayne. Last night was a reminder of how long this kid has been in the game at a high level. It is what it is. Trying to go through all these comments. If you just came in, make sure you hit that like button. Salute to everybody, the fans, supporters, all the artists, producers. We witnessed all the errors last night. Salute Master Pill, Cool Herc. Nah, saluting him and his sister was love and respect. Yes. Yes. And there's an admiration there. It's not like you never get the sense that they're going through the motions, right? Like, I gotta go over here and shake this dude, this ungrateful dude's hand. Nah, it's like they want to do that. They made him a part of the show. He was on the stage. Think about how they all came together. Like even when the Sugar Hill Gang was performing, I think one of the brothers may have he's handicapped at this moment. Like I think he may have lost his sight or he's unable to walk. Had cats there holding him up. Said here on and off the stage seamlessly, right? Making sure he got his opportunity to shine because they're pillars. They made their contribution. You see what I mean? And Vanguardian TV, like you can't even argue with it, right? It's like, yo, at this point, because if you think about it, Wayne came on the scene with the late 90s, right? It's 2023. And you think about all his contribution. He may not be your favorite MC, but you can say to yourself, like, oh, he's been around for a while. He got the catalog. He got successful tours. He's a spitter. He did some of the things that we love. Like he went on a mixtape run. even though it was different in his era, the mixtape run, but he did do it. He he's undeniable. He may not ever crack your top five, but to say that Lil Wayne doesn't deserve to be called Lil Wayne, nah, he earned that, man. He earned that. What we got here? Rakim is the GOAT. No Nas without him. That's cool. That's cool. That's your preference. That's cool. But after last night, we're gonna start giving Cool G Rap some more of those flowers, man. Because Rakim is the easy name to mention when it comes to Nas. But I think G Rap influenced him more than anyone. And we did a poll about that on the community tab maybe almost a year ago, and it was like neck and neck. But Cool G Rap deserves much more credit than he gets when it comes to Nas, because it ain't always about the writing aspect, right? It's about the energy, what you were able to, what he introduced you to, or even the content that you speak about, and you just take it to the next level. Like, I think Cool G Rap should get. So when we mention Rakim, make sure that we mention Cool G Rap when we're speaking about Nas as well. Fast Life. Where's it at? Yes, was reminded how much hits Tip has. Listen, man, T.I. is a great performer. Great performer. And those records that he have, I don't know if they've been remastered or remixed. They sound phenomenal over the live stream. So I can imagine in the stadium, they was cranking. Clean, pristine. You hear everything. Great mix. It was another record I put in the chat that I wasn't what record was that? It'll come to me. I was surprised at how well it was mixed. It was from the 80s. What a concert. J Mar, what up, dog? Adriel, you're right. You're right. That's why I don't get into the influence joint, because you're gonna always leave a name out. But Slick Rick definitely is up there. He influenced Nas for sure. He definitely did, man. Definitely did. So when we speaking of in your estimation, who had the better performance in the chat? Would you give it to Snoop or Cube? Real quick. Snoop or Cube? Who had the greater performance? Well, the better performance in your? They were both great. Which performance did you enjoy the most? But yeah, I know, right? I'm asking questions. It's gonna be hard because I feel the same way. Social Elite. Cube. Cube went off, man. Shout out to Dub C too. I seen it in the Snoop, because he blessed the OGs. Both. Some people were like, yo, what Mac 10 at? Listen, man, we ain't talking about who ain't here. Cube is here. Shout out to Cube. Snoop, but Cube had the energy. Yeah, Cube is Cube is fire, man. See, when I go to a show, that's the stuff I be looking for. Because you already know the songs. But it's about who prepared. When your hype man or someone who's doubling your vocals, when they jump in there and they know you're about to you running short on breath, and they assist you seamlessly, like you stated, like those little things, like as a fan, that's what I be looking for. Like, oh yeah, them dudes are prepared. They take this serious. And that's what I got from Havoc and Noid as well. Like, you can tell the energy, the synergy, the chemistry. You can't buy that. Buster, and Spliff Star, you get that. You even get that with 50 and Yayo. That energy, man. You can't buy that. Because everybody not comfortable with being a hype man. The hype man can pay the bills too, though. Don't get it twisted. I can definitely see Cool G influence on Nas. It's there. Like the way he spoke of that man when he was leaving the stage. Like, come on. Nah. And you get the sense that it's not the first time he said that. Like, like Cool G Rap understands the admiration that Nas has for him, and he cool with that. He don't need the world to know how Nas feels about him. You know what I'm saying? like synergy, the energy, like they just you can tell it's authentic, sincere. Yes, sir. Lauren tried to do it when she noticed Nas fumble a little bit on his lyrics too. If I ruled the world, am I mistaken? That was the song, right? She tried to get in there and help him out, and that happens. I feel it since like Nas got flustered in a sense, not that he didn't know his material, but he fanned out. And that's what made it fire. Like when you see one of like your favorite artist, like he fanned out last night. Lauren was on the stage. Dude went to sit next to the or stand next to the drummer because he was like in awe, like, damn, Lauren out here. And the way they embraced each other was fire at the end. He just took a back seat and he still got his joints off. Snoop was great. Just Cube got to do his whole set. Yeah. Like Snoop was being who Snoop is, right? Like Snoop brought out hold on. Hold on. Did he bring out DJ Hollywood? He did. Was that Snoop? Snoop had Wiz. Snoop had Dougie Fresh, Slick Rick, Scar. Yeah, Too Short. He did bring out DJ Hollywood. I ain't bugging. Snoop definitely did that. Snoop was a fan last night too, man. That's what it's all about. Remember when you used to watch Drink Champs early on, and they would say how they here to give the legends their flowers, but over time the show morphed into something different. Last night was kind of reminiscent of what Drink Champs was early on. OGs or successful MCs, not to say Nori's or Nas or Snoop, but taking the back seat and letting the legends live. You know, it was fire. And this is it right here. Nas cut a set for L Boogie. You could tell, like, but he wasn't stressing it. It was cool because he understand that I got some other tour dates coming up, but this is my sister right here. Like she blessed me with a feature back in 1996 that most people couldn't get. You know what I'm saying? Coming off that Fuji success because they were touring together. And look how far removed they are. And she don't come outside like that. But you can tell that she rehearsed enough or she was prepared enough to where she had 4 or 5 different songs and the band was ready to go. And they were professionals about it. He cut his set short. That was fire for the ladies. DJ Hollywood did come out. Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I love that, man. Like you can tell, like I'm big on sincerity. Like I ain't with all that fronting. You my man, you my man. We kick it like that. Everybody play their part. When it's your time to shine, nobody can take it away from you. So that's why in life you ain't even gotta force it. In his mind, you're like, I'm Nas, I'm Esco, I'm good. I'm gonna have opportunities. My biggest achievement within this whole hip hop 50th is getting everybody in the same room peacefully. And what I gather, I wasn't there. There was no drama. Everybody came out to have a good time. That's what it's about. Like killing all those stigmas and those stereotypes and showing these other individuals that we can come up in your venues, put on a great show, bring in some revenue, and make sure your venue looks the same way it did before we got up in here. That's what it was all about last night. And when you got dudes like Snoop Dogg or Ice Cube, who are prominent figures, and they give it up and show homage or pay homage to those who came before them, acknowledging the East Coast while also making sure to remind you they're from the West Coast, and ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what we need. The OGs behaving like men. All that bickering and arguing, acting like grown kids. Nah, we ain't doing that. Don't mess up the money. Don't mess up relationships for lack of communication and all of that. We out here to perform, show everybody what hip hop is about. And hip hop won last night. Whether you got a check from hip hop, whether you support hip hop, this is your culture. You know what I'm saying? And we got it. Nas is the GOAT for sure. It's a real show, man. For sure. What y'all think about EPMD? Oh, it was great to see. It was great to see. Because sometimes people forget about the hit squad. Everybody know about the Def Squad. We're talking about Hit Squad, EPMD, Daz Effects, K Solo, Redman. those were good times, man. Those were good times. Good times. J Mars, my guy right here, was good, dog. Am I the only one that feel away that huge artists like J, M, K. Dot, Cole haven't done anything to celebrate the culture B Day? Yeah, I wouldn't say I feel a kind of way, but I have acknowledged it though. Like I don't, times like this makes you realize everybody may have an affinity for the culture, but very few people love the culture like a Snoop Dogg. Like you can go on Snoop's Instagram or something like that, and he don't any random day he'll be playing something from the 80s. It can be from the West Coast, it can be from the Midwest, the East Coast. He's just a fan, just like we are. He may have had much success within the culture, but he's a fan. Nas is a fan. At any given time, you can see him in an interview or something reciting lyrics from an 80s hip hop artist. They're fans. They just so happen to have notoriety, but they're fans at the end of the day. Everybody's not that way. Not to say Cole isn't, not to say K. Dot isn't, but all the artists coming after them, a lesson was put on yesterday, a masterclass on how to conduct yourself and how you should take care of the culture. Because 25 years from now, we're going to need the K. Dots or whomever to be the ones to hold it down and hold down hip hop 75th. You know what I'm saying? Nas to be 75. We're going to want him to do that. So hopefully we got some individuals who are all in and ready to take on that responsibility. Because the only way it's going to keep going is dudes remain fans first, superstars second. Got to be a fan first. Got to humble yourself. A lot of cats, if you can't be the bill, if you can't be the headliner, they ain't coming outside. It got to be about them. It's a great comment right here. If Cam came with the same energy, the verses wouldn't have been such a wash for Jada and the Locks. Cam killed his set. You know what the biggest thing I took away from Cam's set? And I may be in a minority here. Everybody is not meant to share the stage with other individuals. He seemed so much more prepared last night. I don't know, is it because the verses and he got humbled? But when you have the set to yourself and you have time to do the joint that you want, you don't have to worry about no one else's ego and he want his song played and we ain't on the same page because we ain't seeing eye to eye, but we just doing the show because it's a bag. Nah, Cam got a chance to be Cam last night. And last night kind of highlighted what we already knew concerning the verses, but the performances last night definitely highlight the fact that they didn't rehearse. They weren't prepared. Because when you prepared, what we seen last night is what takes place. Cam was prepared last night. And I'm glad that he came on the stage by himself. Do your joint, go home. No special guests. You got enough catalog, enough classic verses. You got big tunes to where you can do your joint and go home. And we're going to stop acting like Hey Ma not a fire record either. Hey Ma is fire. Yo, sometimes you be forgetting, man. Yo, Hey Ma is fire. Cam, shout out to Cam. Shout out to what he's doing with Mace too. It is what it is. Them dudes out here, but you can say what you want to say about Cam. Most business ventures that he gets involved in that we know about, typically they're successes, man. He get busy. Jonathan, you said it correct. I don't know him personally, but it does seem to be that he's in a good place in life. He seemed to be, I don't know. Yeah, I was waiting for that Hey Ma dance. They hit it. Yo, listen, a lot of cats, it's certain records that I happen to love that a lot of people don't like. I'm a hip hop head. I love lyrics. I love boom bap and all of that. But like Hey Ma, come on. I like that record. If G Unit come out to, I don't know, I want to get to know you featuring Joe, I may go bananas. It's just certain records that just touch me in a way that, because I love music. But that Hey Ma is fire. Shout out to Cam, man. I'm gonna say that again, man. Shout out to Cam. He got a little upset. He said somebody was trying to get him off the stage. I don't know how true that was, but it went through in a mature fashion in the sense that nobody had to come on the stage and snatch the mic or he didn't have to hook off it. He got his songs done and it was over with. So shout out to them. Shout out to Harlem. He was the only one that represented Harlem, right? With the exception of the OGs. Yeah. I hope all these new era MCs take notes. Look at how many MCs from the 90s look great. Look at how many MCs from the 90s look great. Doing big things and still carrying the culture. It's the golden era for a reason. I always believe this, man. If you take care of your craft, it'll take care of you. You put that time in, it'll show. It will definitely show. It will definitely show. Whether you from the 80s and 90s, you put that time in, you can reap the benefits for sure. And no, I would love this to know the vetting process last night. In a sense, how did they decide who was going to be there? Because even though the Shan situation, we all know what happened with that. Even when he performed, it seems as though he was ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, how they know who to select, who to leave off the show? We'll never know that, but the decisions that they made were perfect. For sure. I know I Am God is somewhere smiling, right? Chicago never forgot how to rap. Lupe and Common back to back was dope. Listen, man, when it come to MCs, I may be in a minority outside of New York. Chi-Town is the area, or it's a city, so we can say Midwest, right? When it comes to lyricists, that's my second stop. At one point, it was Philly, but I have an affinity for like Common and Lupe. I hold them in such high regard because they check all boxes. They don't just rhyme. They don't just have the records. They take live performances serious. They can get out there with no hype man and work the entire crowd, do their 4 or 5 songs and be out. And they have like this humility about them that's infectious. You know what I'm saying? Not to say I got a problem with any other coast and lyricists. Nah, I'm just saying my catalog, my playlist, the songs I typically play, Chi-Town, man. Something about the albums that they put forth, their artists, man. It always touched. I was a huge Ye fan, not gonna lie. People like to erase with his contributions because of his later antics. That's cool. But when we keeping the music, that run that Chi-Town had with Ye, Common, and Lupe, it was a beautiful thing to witness in real time. No lie. We got here. Yeah, New York, Chi, Philly, LA for me. Speaking of spitters, yeah, spitters everywhere, man. If Common was born in NY, he can easily be on everybody's top 10. Listen, he in my top 10 easy. Easy. Easy money. Because when we talking about top 10, I guess we like catalog alone, how many people have more quality solo albums in common? Even the ones you may not like Electric Circus, which happens to grow on me as I've gotten older. But Resurrection, then he had a nice little run with you got Like Water for Chocolate, B, Finding Forever, like Common, and he's still putting out joints with Kareem Riggins. So Common is a spitter, man. For real. Somatic, we definitely understood the say wavelength as well. I was stating on my Twitter, people probably thought I was bugging when they seen that. When it comes to talent, top to bottom, I'm talking about just what they were able to do within hip hop and how it kind of shaped their career. Queen Latifah is the most talented artist in hip hop history. Many people may not agree with that, man. What Latifah was able to accomplish and never sold out. Let's not get it twisted. She was always queen. Latifah has to be the most talented artist in hip hop history. And I'm gonna stand on that. Thought about that a lot. Like, there's been many people. Nas is my favorite MC, artist per se, the way he writes, but I'm talking about in totality, maximizing your gifts and your talents. I have never seen anyone in all of my years on this earth do what Latifah has done within hip hop. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, let me know in the chat. What we got here? I don't. Lupe went in last night. Lupe is an artist where I don't know, man. I wouldn't say he's polarizing, but a lot of people don't. I'm gonna say understand, but they're unfamiliar with his catalog and his writing prowess. So that kind of, I don't know, takes away from what he should be. But those who are in the know, Lupe is that guy, man. Lupe is a phenomenal writer. I'll say it again. I think he's gonna be his works to be studied, man. Like literature platforms, like in schools and things of that nature. The way he sets up things, the way he conveys his message, or um, the chances he's willing to take in his writings. Like Lupe is a certified problem, a certified problem. What we got here in the chat, real quick, because we obviously a lot of people wanted to see Naj perform last night, right? So hold. Before we even get here, Will Smith. I guess you referring to the greatest hip hop or most talented artist ever. Will Smith is up there, but Latifah was able to do obviously the movies, the sitcoms. She was a certified spitter, jazz album. Like she did all of that, man. Broadway, like even Latifah did a lot, man. A lot. Flavor Unit. she she had a crew, and she was the head of that. There's many people who may be able to make that argument, but Latifah checked a lot of boxes, man. That's the thing. Jamie Foxx, if he rapped, he would definitely be in the conversation for sure. Pac can rap, dance, act, street records, radio records. So you would give it to Pac over Latifah? It's an argument there. But I think that the singing aspect is what I guess that she did a jazz album, man. And she can actually sing. I've seen her like videos and things of that nature, in a whole different audience gravitating to her. She's there just for that demographic, that audience, jazz or lounge singing, for lack of a better term. And it was highly effective, and the album was successful. Casuals or kick push heads, real Lupe fans, the dots and lines heads. Yeah, yeah. Because I think that's the first song people think about when they say think about Lupe, right? Kick push. But Lupe is a spitter, man. I wonder why he never performs Touch the Sky. Is it because of the Kanye element? Like, I think if he would have rang that off last night, they would have went crazy in there. But you can't tell nobody what to perform. But as of late, even you don't ever see him. You don't ever see him perform that joint. Chat, if it was one song Nas could have performed last night, a B-side record that he didn't perform last night, put that. Let me know. Because I got two. And one of them was played last night, and I could have sworn that it was gonna happen. But one song, a B-side record that Nas could have performed at Yankee Stadium, and you would have lost your mind. Yes, Lauryn Hill can definitely be argued. Listen, that's the thing about hip hop. There's so many different people who were so talented. Like Lauryn Hill, for most people, I guess Sister Act 2, right? With people thought she was an actress who knew how to sing, and then the hip hop and R&B elements were afterwards. You know what I'm saying? Like But wasn't she doing Apollo and all of that? I think she won Apollo a couple of times too, right? So everybody got their own entry points, but there are many different people. Lauryn Hill, somebody said Pac, right? Somebody said Will Smith, Jamie Foxx, but he's not an MC. So, but there's many people that happen to look like us that are very talented. In my personal opinion, based on what she is able to do, and she always no one could manipulate or force her to do anything that she didn't want to do, and she was still able to navigate that joint, man. Like Latifah's career was phenomenal. Boulder, yeah, back when would have been fire. Reach Out is one of my favorite Nas records, man. It's something I don't know what it is. I guess it's the drums, or I don't know, something about that record. It just feel like a stadium record to me. Got Don, that's a good one. Memory Lane, yeah. I think that was part of the set. I just think he bowed out gracefully to Lauryn Hill. Stay. World's an Addiction. Yeah. Those orchestras in the stadium, that could be fire as well. Affirmative Action is a firm cheat code. Didn't he do the first verse to that? I thought they were coming outside. I'm not gonna lie. I was all in on that. I thought for a fact they was coming outside, but it didn't happen. You Gotta Love It. Oh man. Nas got joints. Queen came in the game with a business mind. TheEezeExperience. You're right. What's her partner's name? Shaheem or something? Like they from the flavor unit from the rip. She understood. Find Your Wealth would have been fire. I never seen Nas perform Stay. Last week I stated Nas doesn't do Life is Good records. And I got reminded in the comment section that he has done quite a few. Well, the Radio City joint, he definitely did quite a few. And I believe when I went to the Barclays and Maxwell joint, he would sprinkle Daughters in there and Bye Baby. But for the most part, I think going forward, we'll probably never hear a lot of Life is Good records. I don't want, because when you look at his set list now and the type of shows that he's doing, like he's really tapping into those B-sides now, and especially when he back home. Because I don't even think he does the Don, right? Does he do the Don at the Garden? I got to look that up. I don't remember if he did Nas the Don, but Stay would have been fired. Oh, someone said Stay Chisel. That would have been nice to bring Large Professor out, right? Could you imagine if Large Professor came out and did Looking Out the Front Door? Son, that would have been impeccable. That would have been incredible. Shout out to Extra P, man. I know him and Mary, yeah, Mike H. They did it in Houston, right? When they were on tour together, he was tapping into a lot of those records. That was what, maybe like 5 years ago, right? A little less than that. That Nas and Mary tour. You seen Nas do Stay a few times? I would love that, man. Nas the Don, shout out to Heavy D. That's like a stadium record too. So I can understand that. Nas is like, I've seen him perform that. That would have been that's dope, man. What we got here? I'm just trying to go down the list. What y'all think about Fat Joe's set? The rating 1 through 5 in the chat. 1 through 5. What you giving it? 5 being the highest. Fat Joe last night. I think he came on after Kid Capri. Somewhere in there. A 3. What we got? Fat Joe set on a scale of 1 through 5. What we giving it? Nah, I ain't getting it to 3.5. Joe brought out KRS, Remy Ma. Am I missing anyone? Pun got a little bit of love. I seen in the chat some people thought he should have brought out Chris Rivers. I didn't think that was happening. That would have been dope for hip hop. Yeah, him that yo, KRS-One was too happy to be doing the Bridges over, man. Yo, KRS, yo, that's my dude, man. Shout out to KRS-One, man. A phenomenal performer. I don't really think he got an opportunity to get his joint off, but KRS-One, if they would have let him get about 3 or 4 songs in, Stadium would have went ridiculous. The question is, why didn't he have his own set, right? Because he was representing the Bronx. Fat Joe brought him out, so we're gonna take that. But Peter, yeah, he brought out Peter Guns. Thought Lord Tariq was coming out too, but that didn't happen. But it is what it is. There's no complaints here. I was just like, when you're watching the show like that, you get so engulfed in it, you get so open to the point to where you start trying to guess who's coming out. But that was a fire moment, man. What we got here? If Joe brought out Cuban Link to squash the beef on hip hop's born, that would have been crazy, right? I think they're a little too far removed from that, but that would have been phenomenal. That would have been nice, man. That would have been fire. Give Fat Joe a 5. I'm seeing a lot of like 3.5 in between 3.5 and 5. Joe was a good performer, man. I don't know what he was talking about at the end where when he drove from the projects to the stadium. I'm like, yo, fan, turn his mic off. I don't know what he's talking about with that. We ain't here for all of that. Now I should perform in the future with AZ. Imagine hearing the essence, how you living, and life should be live. That would be nice. That is that something that do you think that tandem could go on a successful tour together? I'm not talking about in our region because it's easy to say the tri-state area, but Nas headlining the tour, like with a special guest, AZ, could they fill out arenas, or would he have to like, I don't know, go from Madison Square Gardens to doing like smaller arenas? I don't know. I would pay for it, but I'm not sure how many people will come out for that. But I think they should do that. That's something I suggested last week. Like, why Nas doesn't bring him on tour with the Woo, have AZ open up. Not per se open, not be the opening act, but go first. And then you have Nas and Woo. That way AZ can get his catalog off. And if needed, they can do the How You Live Is the Essence and Serious and all those other records that they got. AZ tours, I don't think AZ tours. I think AZ does shows. Like on his Instagram, he'll pop up and he'll have a show like in Jersey, or he'll be doing some club joint, or he'll be overseas doing some shows. But I don't know if he does large arenas. I would definitely check out AZ, man. I'm glad they streamed it live too. One mic, listen, one mic. I'm starting to fall in love with that record again from the live aspect. I don't know. It has a different energy, man. I would never have thought when that song came out over 20 years ago that would be a song that he would end his concerts on. That was the last song he did last night, right? Yeah, it was. But it's so fitting, right? Especially for the theme or where we are now, Hip Hop 50. If all I needed was one mic, that's fire, man. I thought the firm were coming out for affirmative action. I think he did the first verse, and I was like, yeah, they about to get busy. But it didn't happen. And I'm cool with that. But what's up with Foxy, man? Foxy gets no love. Foxy don't get no love, man. I don't know why. I don't know how she is behind the scenes. Does she have relationships with people? Is she reliable? Is she willing to show up? I don't know, but Foxy don't get no love, man. I saw AZ on tour in June, Do or Die 2 tour. I never seen AZ perform live. Well, I seen him come out with Nas, but I mean, I would love to see him do an entire set. Boulder, where'd you see him? What city? Is she able to perform physically? That's the thing. That's why I'm shying away from it because I don't know. I don't know her situation, but it's like she don't even get mentioned. Like people act like she didn't even never rap before. But let me stop saying maybe I should talk about her more. Foxy's nice. Also met him and got a picture in my Illmatic vinyl sign. That's fire. Last time AZ, he was in Jersey. I was thinking about taking that drive but it was like the show was like a mixture, like a 90s situation, like him and some R&B groups. I thought about it, but I didn't. go through on it. But I got a feeling that when Nas is back in Brooklyn with the Woo, he probably bring him out to the show. Say what you want about Nas and Eaze's relationship and not doing the album. When he brought him out at Madison Square Garden, that told me all I needed to know, man. Like that's a moment. You know what I'm saying? That's a moment. You may not ever get the album that you wanted, but he did bring that man out the garden, and you got a chance to hear "Life's to Be" in Madison Square Garden. What do you think about the motion video? I actually like it. Shout out to Kid Ink, not Kid Ink. What's his name? Is it Kid Art? I know he like 5 or 6 years ago. He was on a run. He was on a lot of videos. He has. I like the way he shot it. It's not in a widescreen. It's the best video Nas has done, at least for me, since he linked up with Hit Boy. It's a good video. I like it. It's a dope video. Not to say I'm gonna play it a bunch because I don't really be. I watch a video here and there, but times have changed. Right? It's amazing how YouTube is accessible to us in many different things. But I don't watch music videos like I used to. Even though there's not a bunch, it's not like MTV or BET like that. But I won't per se watch the video to hear the song. You know, if it comes on, I will, but I won't seek it. Nas embraced 21 Savage and Shan when they dissed him. The other guy would have done everything in his power to blackball them. That's why I love Nas. Yo, it's amazing. Yeah, the other guy. That's hilarious. Yeah, it's a possibility. Yeah, but sometimes you got to be the elder statesman. How can you be beefing with cats and then be trying to do a hip hop 50th concert? It's either you're gonna be the mature individual or you're gonna meet people at their level. Which one is it gonna be? Whatever it's gonna be, just let it be that. But I think Nas is very strategic in what he does. Why am I arguing or beefing with a 21 Savage? I got bigger things to do. Let's just do a song together, get it out the way. We moved on. Because I'm Nas. But you know who you are. You know what I'm saying? What people do don't even be moving you like that. Let's go. Yeah, the spicy video was fire. I see a lot of people talking about Shan. Shan, it was good to see him there. It was good to see Shan there. He did his thing. He tried to save TJ Swan. TJ Swan was I think the moment became too big for him. And the Shan came out and then they ran back the Biz Markie joint. But it was good to see him get on that stage. He got what he wanted. And hopefully he's at peace now. You know what I'm saying? That's all I can say concerning that. Because I can't walk around mad at Shan or upset when I can highlight the nonsense. But if he's on that stage, that means Nas signed off on that. It should be over now. Until if he decides to bug out again. But he should be cool. Capitalize off that moment. Go get you your shows. I don't know, probably link up with Craig G and just do some small clubs or something like that. And go get your money. But you got to capitalize. Don't sit around and wait for cats to call you for the next show. Don't wait for hip hop 51st anniversary. You know what I'm saying? Yo, just that moment will forever. Yo, it was almost like he was antagonizing QB, man. Yo, he was smiling, laughing. He the energy was behind it. KRS wanted to smoke. It's good to see that though. Good to see Shan and Marley on stage together. Yeah, that was fire. That was fire. Shout out to the legends, man. Shout out to Queens. A lot of people were saying this in the chat yesterday. I need to try to find that joint Kumo did over on the oldest beat. He did that with Grandmaster Cass, right? They were flowing too. It sounded good. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube because I don't think you can find it on streaming services because that's someone else's instrumental. But I don't know the name of it, so you're probably better off just typing them the Kumo D oldest beat, something like that. It's phenomenal, dog. I think did he perform that? I know Fat Joe was playing it for a minute. Like I heard the instrumental. It was so much going on last night. Please forgive me if I don't remember everything, man. There was some moments, like it was so much content last night. It really was. And even like the transitions from performance to performance, even when like the live stream would go to like the hip hop 50th photo, you never got the sense that you were waiting too long. Because the moment you got up to go get a drink or something like that, they were right back on the stage. That's planning. That was planning, man. That was fire. I want to make sure I get to all your comments. 77 figures. What up? The other guy. Y'all hilarious, man. And I like the fact that Nas also took a back seat with the fact that he didn't make it a Nas and Hit Boy situation. Like sometimes you got to read the room, right? Read the room. He made it about hip hop, and then we'll get back in that bag when we go back on tour. Everything is strategic. Everything. Lil Kim's breath control was off a little bit. How do you feel about the ones that had to perform over backing tracks? I think the ones that didn't have to did a hell job. Yes. You know, I was thinking about that too, because in the comments, people was going crazy. Because I remember some people may have understood the importance of not rhyming the backing tracks, but it became a thing that people started looking down upon when Jada said something. You know what I'm saying? So whenever people see that, that's the first thing they highlight. But sometimes it's necessary, especially like with a hook and you performing by yourself. That's an opportunity for you to get a breather. Let the hook run in the background and you just do, the accents or you come in and out. But a lot of these artists, how can I put this? You got to be in shape to perform. And being in shape has nothing to do with size. A lot of them don't have the breath control because they're not in shape, and a lot of them don't put enough reps in. Like Snoop, he tours a lot. And so you can tell the difference between him and some others. Like it's seamless throughout the entire joint. He's not screaming ever. Even the way his mics are EQ'd, the mix on it, you can tell that he takes pride in that. Like when I come on the stage, sound engineer, I don't know what you got going on with everybody else, but this is my mic and make sure it's mixed properly. I don't even know if everybody came in for sound check. We don't know. But you can tell those who take it serious. But breath control is everything. Ask Dougie Fresh. Are you kidding me? How the hell was he able to do that? Yo, that was crazy to me. That may be that was crazy. You hear the OGs, like your uncles and stuff like that, speak about Dougie Fresh and how great of an entertainer he is. But to see that, I've seen him do like BET shows and stuff like that. But that was phenomenal. That was a great moment, man. Lupe, he sounded even Lupe I think when he performed, he had like a little bit of reverb on it. Like it sounds so clean. You can tell who takes what they do serious. He did do Quiet Storm, right? Now Havoc didn't rap with Kim. Um, they both did the same song, right? Yeah. So he did Quiet Storm, and she did it as well. Those were good times when that remix came out. What's that? 98, 99? Murder Music. Yeah. Yeah, but Adriel, you're right, man. Breath control is everything. And sometimes the moment can get to you. Like you start rushing yourself, and then when you got all these other antics going on, you dancing and running around all over the place, you better make sure your stamina is up or your endurance. Because that's when the unprofessionalism comes into play where because sometimes it's not a matter of it's not that they don't know the lyrics, it's the breath control, like you stated. And if you're not getting those reps in, it shows. But overall, I think her set was it was cool. It's a reminder. She got hits. That's one thing about hits. Your hits can be your saving grace. Because when you got those infectious tunes where people know the lyrics, You can just put the mic to the crowd and they'll sing the lyrics for you. Where was Ray? I don't know, man. I thought he was gonna come out as well, but the rest of the boys held it down. They definitely held it down. He's a technician, man. How does Dougie Fresh do what he does all this time? The breath control is beyond master level performance last night. It made it look easy. That's because he get those reps in. And when you're not a rapper per se or a singer, he's an entertainer, right? So he's not a lyricist. He just has those, he's created songs that are infectious and he can dance. He's an entertainer. So he knows his strengths. So your breath control better be all right if being a beatboxer is part of your arsenal. Got to stay in shape. The OG looks great too, man. I don't know how old he is, but he looks young, active. He was fresh to death last night. Crush on You was on point. Shout out to Eeze too. It's great to see Kim and Eeze together. I think Cam wrote that, right? One of their verses. Shout out to Cam. Cam had a great night. It's a history lesson. Yeah, that Slick Rick change was that was ridiculous, crazy. That was the OGs were shining last night, man. Yeah, tracksuit was fire. Shout out to Dougie Fresh. Shout out to everybody, man. Did we miss anything? Who didn't we talk about? That Curtis Blow, Melly Mel, Showman. The OGs is out there two-stepping, holding each other down. That was fire, man. We got Ghostface with that Lupe comment, EPMD. Oh, that was great to see. Kid Capri, fire. We got everybody. Run DMC. Did everybody stay up late enough to watch the rest of the show, or did y'all hit end after Nas? That A Boogie was mid. Nah, A Boogie was fire. It was needed though. Sometimes mid we use that word because it wasn't for us. But A Boogie, I enjoyed that, man. I don't see anybody on this flyer who could have been replaced, and I'm not sure who you would have replaced him with. Everybody came through and did their thing, man. Run DMC, I really enjoyed that. I really did, man. Masterclass. It was a masterclass. Phenomenal. They said it was their last show last night, but after that, nah, y'all gotta go get those bags. Not to say y'all hurting or anything like that, but nah. Not at hold on. EPMD. What do y'all think about Eric Sermon, man? Do you feel as though he gets the credit he deserves? Because even when you like the EPMD set, he could have like veered off and did just like music if he wanted to, and that stadium would have went crazy. Now we talking about how many generations, right? We have the Marvin Gaye era where people just you hear his tone of voice and people go nuts. And then you got the hip hop heads. The way he was able to marry those two together and make that single, that record as big as it was, while just being himself, like Green Eye Bandit, man. I'm gonna say this, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves. He's not overlooked, but his contributions are insane. That would have been fire bringing out Pete Rock for Down with the King. That would have been, yeah. It was good for him to get that shine as well. Yeah, Nas didn't do The World Is Yours either, right? No. Who was at the concert? Oh, if you was in a concert, put a yes in chat. I should have asked that from the very beginning. Who was there? If you was at the concert last night, put a yes in chat. Yes, yeah, I was there, whatever it may be. I said that in the chat as well. I thought Dr. Dre was gonna be there, but like I said, the obligations you just never know, man. Definitely not. Eric Sermon got classics and production credits as well. Eric Sermon, man, that's my guy. I'll always champion his catalog because he tapped many different artists and he inspired so many different people. Just don't feel like he get the credit he deserves, but it was good to see them up there. EPMD. I guess nobody was there, fam. I tried to get where was Ed Love at? Come on. So shout out Ralph McDaniels. Ralph McDaniels did his thing, yo. He's a class act, right? Like you just might give him the mic and you never feel as though he's gonna veer off. Like he's been doing this forever. And he's so humble with it. So humble. So humble, man. So I'm glad Nas and them did that documentary on what he brought to the game. Watching online, I swear New York crowd to be too chill. They don't appreciate what was actually happening last night. Yeah, but I can agree to a certain extent. It's just like I just think that whatever the stream was showing, that wasn't the crowd that we would typically sit next to in the concert. In the sense, like it was like a lot of corporate heads in there. You know what I'm saying? Up in them nosebleeds. I'm gonna keep saying it. Further back, I'm pretty sure the energy was crazy in there too. It would have been nice for them to kind of mic up the crowd, but it was a delay on that stream. It was because you can even tell how at one point, um, Cool Herc early on in the show, they allowed him to speak, and then abruptly it just chopped, and then somebody else had the mic. I was like, oh yeah, it was a delay on it. Pete Rock wasn't any other prominent shows. Yeah, what exactly would he do? It would have been nice for that would have been fire too, right? Could you imagine Pete Rock and CO coming out performing? They reminisce over you in New York, son. That would have been crazy. But ladies and gentlemen, relationships are everything. So we make that happen. That's a New York thing, bro. You know that Euro crowds lose their minds. Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, you know, sometimes we pride and ego get in the way. We don't want to fan out. When I go to shows, I fan out, man. I'm reciting lyrics. I ain't saying I'm gonna be like a fan at the Michael Jackson Bad or Dangerous tour, fainting and falling out. I ain't doing that, but I definitely have a good time. But to see people asking, where the people at in the live stream? Ain't nobody go to the show, and to see Nas and them finally get on stage, and you get that visual or that angle from behind the stage, looking out as he performs, and you see that whole stadium fill up. That's fire, man. That's incredible. Hip hop is in the great hands, man. Just got to keep it going. Someone said MOP was missing, but who they gonna replace? Like you need someone like Buster to be on the show, and he brings them out because he got that record with them. You know what I'm saying? So they can do Annie Up remix, and then you can have them go into maybe another song. But who would they have replaced? You got to know Havoc was going to be on that show. That's Nas, man, and just the contribution that Mob Deep made. I wish Prodigy could have been here to see that. That would have been fire. But yeah, Big Noy held it down. I thought they was gonna do Burn and let Noy get his verse off. Let me yo, Noy ate that. Shout out to Big Noy, man. Noy got some moments within his culture, man. That's my estimation. Like when that crowd is not mic'd up, you can't really tell, You can't really tell. But depending upon where you at, I'm pretty sure they felt that energy. Like when Dougie Fresh is out there, that's what kept him going. Crowd was going crazy. That mass appeal for you last night, Hip Hop 50 was legendary. Hopefully that opens up some more opportunities for Mass Appeal, right? I don't know where they can take it from now. Like they're definitely building a huge company and the things that they're doing, whether it's the documentary, successful tours, Yankee Stadium was able to get the Garden, Nas, and then Lincoln Center, what Kennedy Center, the orchestra joint. Like he's just slowly going down that list, man. It's fire, man. But I'm just glad that they live streamed it, like we stated, and we all had an opportunity to witness it. That was incredible. I'm gonna state it before, like when I was missing out on those Nas and Wu toys, I was so pissed with myself. As soon as those tickets went on sale for the Garden, let me get those. And last night, if you were in the building last night, you witnessed something epic. I don't know how your commute was going home. I don't envy you one bit. I was watching on YouTube. I fell asleep. It was good, Sean Bugs, when Clark Kent was on. I know I missed out. Yeah, he was doing a set for all those who passed away, right? Yeah. So yeah. But I'm pretty sure it's up there still. It's up there. They didn't take it down. I don't see the benefit of that. You can run that back. I'll probably run it back today. I gotta check out Run DMC again. I really enjoyed them, man. That was fire. I enjoyed everyone, but the OGs, that was a masterclass. Definitely a masterclass. Yo, I thought I was yo. I was totally surprised at that. I ain't judging at all, but I was taken aback. Like, is that DMC? Nah, that's Rev Run. All right, cool. Do your thing. Do your thing, OG. I'm here for it. What's up? And that's the type of time I be on. That's the telltale sign from beginning to end. When we leave this joint, New York is still in a good place. That's what's up, man. Parking at 145th and walking 15 minutes to the stadium, you can feel the good energy. Nobody was wilding, respectful behavior from all. And that's how I felt when we went to the Garden. When he was at the Garden, everybody was outside piecing it up, talking about the show. The energy was right. Beautiful thing. So now, if they want to do it annually, that's the barometer. Listen. There was no incidents. Everybody got home safe. Let us run it back. Rev Run, yeah, Rev Run was on one last night. He was open, man. You can tell yeah, man, yeah. KRS did kill. Yeah, he went busy. KRS is trying to get Shan out of here again. I gotta watch. That's definitely. I'm running that back when we get off this joint. I gotta go find that piece of the performance. That was right. So maybe right after A Boogie, right? Yeah. Hopefully they put the time codes on it. But yeah, KRS is a phenomenal. We were just talking about this last week. How I never got a chance to witness him, but I heard from my uncle how you go to a KRS-One show, you don't want that smoke if you got to perform after him because he just commands a crowd. And I got it yesterday, even though it wasn't long, he was on bully mode like that. He's a teacher. He's a teacher. Let the OGs live. Melly Mel was on stage flexing, doing bodybuilder poses. Most hilarious moment of the night. And you know Mel gonna take his shirt off. 62 years old. Like everybody know you're working out. That's a good thing too. That man is in shape. Yeah, he was. They were just you can tell the OGs probably linked up afterwards, had their own little private after party. That was fire, man. I don't did Fat Joe play any pun? Um I yeah, he did not a player, right? I don't know if he did the verse. What makes that J Mo, what makes that comment stick out was the fact that Snoop allowed Pac's America Most Wanted verse to run off. I thought that was incredible. I thought that was incredible. That was fire. That was incredible. What we got here? MC Shan and Melly Mel are two of the biggest hitters in hip hop. You know, but maybe a moment like last night will remind them that they are loved. Because a lot of that stuff comes from insecurity. You know what I'm saying? That they be lashing out because they feel like they're being forgotten. And maybe we don't talk about them enough. And maybe when we do speak about them is when they're lashing out and not behaving in the way that they should. But hopefully last night is a chance to just destroy and rebuild and try to move forward. Now, if you come back on these platforms talking crazy again, I don't know how you can make an individual like that happy. But you did get the stage. You were able to perform. Did multiple songs, great reception, live from Yankee Stadium. What more could you ask for? Now the rest is up to you. Go eat. Go get your bread. Yeah, he did. Yeah, they did do twins. He did because he finished the fast part up, Little Italy, that part, and then they went to. Was that Tony Sunshine out there? I don't know if he shouted him out. I could have that was Tony Sunshine as his hype man, right? Yo, I'm gonna keep highlighting these because I found that was hilarious to me. I'm from Queen. I ain't from Queensbridge, but yo, it's all Queens in the sense, right? Something about KRS, yo, he was out for blood yesterday. That was hilarious to me. Not in a bad way, just competitive nature. The bridge is over was tough. Nas probably closed his ears and had to let that happen despite Shan. Listen, that was a great moment. I'm definitely running that back today because I don't know if you all feel the same way. That I just that was comical to me. I love that song anyway, but it was like he listen. I'm that guy. Don't y'all ever forget that. And it's hilarious. Like when you think about it in the grand scheme of things, obviously Nas and Master Pill kind of put the situation together, right? So Havoc and them was already up. He's from QV, and Nas is coming out the KRS one, and he performed that song. That was hilarious. I don't know why. That was hilarious to me. Shout out to KRS one. But if Ice Cube can do No Vaseline, anything can be performed. And it's all fun. It's all fun and games. Ain't nobody beefing. The poetic irony is that a guy from QB helped to make this event happen in the Bronx. Checkmate. Bridge ain't over. Very good insight, Boulder. Checkmate. That's hilarious. That is poetic irony. Yes. A guy from QB made the event happen at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Nas made sure to give his brother Jungle a shout out too during one mic. You know, Jungle was all smiles. Yeah. Annie, isn't that Jungle on? Isn't Jungle on Genesis? The Genesis on Illmatic? I know AZ is on there. I could have sworn I heard Jungle's voice on there. Jungle is on that, right? And they let that run off too. Kim is the people's champ. Listen, man, I ain't taking nothing away from anyway. Yeah, that's Jungle and AZ. Yes. Yeah. Jungle, Nas gonna also make sure his baby bro good, man. That's fire to me though, right? I'm big on that synergy situation, man. Take care of your folks. That's fire. It's amazing how everybody know who Jungle is. Like, how many other rappers have younger brothers? But people know about Jungle like he's a spitter. Why? Because he's acknowledged heavy by his brother. He's not on the stage or nothing like that all the time, but everybody know who Jungle is. Yeah, he did the twins verse. Yeah, Wiz. Wiz? Shout out to Wiz, man. Wiz. Hope he's doing well out there. You don't see Wiz like last time I seen Wiz was on Math Hoffa. Was he with Tragedy? Yeah. I think it's always funny to see Wiz being Nas's hype man. Not funny in a sense, but it's like is a beautiful thing to watch. Not on Nickelodeon's all that when he was performing Street Dreams remix. Shout out to Wiz. He tried to get them a bag too, the Braveheart album. Nah, we probably never see Nas perform Jungle perform again. Uchi Wally verse. Shout out the horse too. Nah, Nas should have brought Jungle out and did quick to back down. Now we good on that. Listen, we all love Esco. We good on that though. The Hip Hop is Dead album has aged well after last night. Hmm. Yeah, that's a great comment. That's a great comment. What y'all think about Wiz Khalifa? I just put the comment up there. Did y'all enjoy Wiz Khalifa last night? Yes, no? In the chat, let me know. Yes or no? Wiz Khalifa. As a special guest, I know they were representing hip hop. I would have much rather. Now, I'm not complaining, but we've been having suggestions all day in the chat. I would have preferred probably Daz and Corrupt out there. I thought they should have got their moment. Like if Snoop was going to bring anybody out. Yeah, Snoop will fly out there though. Yeah, we them boys. Yo, man. Yo, Wiz seems to be like such a happy guy, right? Like you can his energy is probably, some people just hang around, it just works. He seems to be such a free spirit, man. Brings good energy to a room. At this point, how can anyone debate, argue, or contemplate anything other than Nas being the hands down gold of this ish? At this point, you're right. It would just be we arguing for the sake of arguing. What other boxes do we need to check off? He's done everything. He's done everything. Like the man is transitioning himself into like a powerhouse promoter. Like sometimes you got to see the play 5 to 10 years down the road. I think that's exactly what he's trying to do. Like dude trying to become the Al Heyman of hip hop. I see y'all next year. You don't just say stuff like that. There's already a plan in your mind. And now you're seeing it for yourself come to fruition. Oh, this was successful. And it's just something where it's interchangeable. Like you can just plug names in and out. Like someone stated in the chat, you can go from city to city. Do the same thing in the West Coast. The way he's been the face of Hip Hop 50 truly closed the casket. I think it's what's so great about that is that he was willing to take that on. Let's keep it a bean. You never got the sense that he ever made any of this stuff about him. Even in the articles like Billboard, he would say how we got this going on, but it's other people doing shows too. He always like gave love or showed love, provided opportunity. Like I hate to call out names, but Diddy, like, you don't want to be involved in Hip Hop 50? Jay, I don't want to do no Hip Hop 50 situations. Like these are prominent figures, you know what I'm saying? Like, not to say we should expect anything from anyone because those expectations is what lead to you being pissed off and mad. But if we love the culture, let's get busy. But humility, you can't teach that. Even when someone is being that humility is kind of like artificial. There'll be a time where it's gonna wear off. You'll see it. I don't get that sense from him. He's a fan first. And we've turned that word fan into something bad. It's okay to be a fan. When you're a fan or a supporter of something, that's what's going to keep you humble or keep you grounded. He wanted it. And that's why hip hop is in good hands. It's in good hands. Everybody ate. Everybody eating. Because I was getting the sense from a lot of OGs, like a lot of it, when I say eating, it ain't always about money. It's about notoriety. I'm gonna keep saying it. They don't want to be forgotten. And when you're dealing with history, that you start forgetting the pillars and start whitewashing or revise history, making those revisions, it can get dangerous. And what Nas and Master Pill did is a beautiful. It's great. It's great. But you got to be a student of the game first. You can tell he's knowledgeable. All the decisions that they made, hip hop was at the core of it. They didn't sell it out. Like even at the live stream yesterday, those commercials, everything was geared towards hip hop. The breaks in between, they were never trying to sell you a beer or Hennessy or thing. Not to say anything wrong with that, but it was always in line with the music or anything in line with the music. Nas is the man of the people. That's fire. Jay and his people celebrated hip hop 50th with the Book of Hov. Yeah, and I'm not even mad at that because he got to tell his story. I'm never knocking that. You're supposed to tell your story, but it's okay to get out there and allow others to tell their story too. And that whole notion that Jay is trying to revise history, you know, people never forget. Like they when you look at these flyers, we know who been outside this whole year. We you can play dumb, but we know who trying to push the culture forward. And whenever Jay makes a contribution or he a business here and there or sell something or create something, it's still good for hip hop because he's hip hop at the core. That's his genesis. But what Nas has done this year is incredible, man. You can take these lessons and what he put forth and apply it to our own daily lives, man. Crazy. But I ain't gonna ever knock a man for doing like a book of Hove because even though if you feel like it's for him, he did have the catalog or the artifacts to make that happen. So that alone shows you the impact that he had on the culture and what he did. Because I don't know if I ain't trying to let's say put any name up there. As much as I love Common, he can't really do that at the Brooklyn Museum. Musically, he is who he is. But what Jay was able to do, like even simple things like I think they did like an artificial baseline studio. We all know what baseline studio is. I ain't never recorded there. I ain't even been in the lobby, but it became a part of our lives musically. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to what Jay is doing. I just wish he was more involved with the hip hop 50th joint. I thought they could have stepped up more, but at the same time, was it needed? Nas and them took care of it. So I ain't gonna complain. But with that being said, Esco is the king. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no debate, J Mar. We're gonna get back to the task in hand. It's no debate, man. It's no debate. They try to make it about everything else. If it ain't lyrics, it's bad beats, it's selling records, but ain't nobody else did what he did this year. Diddy Ciroc was a partnership with Hip Hop 50th. That's the thing though with Diddy. He fell out with them. He was trying to sue them. So he took the short. So Ciroc kind of sponsored it, but I don't know how much Diddy had his hands in it. But Diddy is that I'm not Kim was on stage, Eeze is on stage. That's an extension of Biggie. Biggie's an extension of Diddy. So they were there. You know what I'm saying? Craig Mack, Flavor in Your Ear rang off. Shout out to Easy Mobi. So whether they were in there or not, the contributions, you can't take it away. I don't know how many times a DJ played a Jay-Z song. Oh, and we ain't have no issues with the sound with that because them joints coming through the TV, that joint was knocking. So Jay is Jay, man. And when I say I wish he would have been a part of it more, not to look down like he supposed to do it. It's like as a fan of his music, I would like to have seen him more. Would have been great to see him come out on stage yesterday. Salute to you, fam. Just showing love to the channel. Black Man 26. See you a Wu fan too. What you think about Raekwon and excuse me, Ghostface performance yesterday? Yo, the Wu is timeless. I don't care what they do from here on out. You don't gotta like some of the albums they put out after some people seem to be upset with Wu albums after probably Wu-Tang Forever. You may not like all of their solo albums, but collectively, they have so much material. I think they can switch up their shows each night if they wanted to. Understand the catalog is that vast. I Meth, you going you're gonna be the highlight tonight. Ray, you going off tonight. Deck, we highlighting all your verses tonight. It's like that. I would like to see Redman last night too. Ghost, I don't know. Hold on, I gotta keep looking at the bill. Who came on? I don't know who was before Wu or Ghostface, but not to say that person, because everyone had their own different type of energy, but Ghost brought a different kind of energy, right? Ghostface is an old soul who can rap, man. That's the best. He's like your uncle, older uncle who got style and know how to rap. Dude went over the original, no ideas original, or the Barry White joint. What was a cheat code as long as a few members are on the spot? It's crazy, right? Because even like last night was a cheat code, and then what if you add Ray to that? It's crazy. The Wu was special. Well, I guess I might as well say it. Many people probably, that's why the Wu was the greatest hip hop group ever. That's why, right there. That alone. No other group can do that. And you can't argue the fact that because they have so many different members. Because you can take Ray and Ghost and put on that same show. You can take Ghost, leave him home. You can take Ray and Meth, and you get the same show. It may be different songs, but the catalog is there. You can take Ghost and Deck. Deck got enough classic verses, and Ghost got enough classic songs. It's gonna get you through. It's interchangeable. No other group can do that. And I know people don't want to hear that. You can like who you like. I like many different groups. Like one of my favorite groups is Little Brother. Are they top 5 favorite best groups ever? No, they're not. But what the Wu is able to do, no other group can do that. And here's the thing about the Wu. They don't necessarily have to be in New York to do that. They can go to many different regions and do that. Hell, we can get on a plane and fly overseas. They do the same thing. And that's what we're gonna call Wu here now at the TheEezeExperience, the cheat code. Thank you, Adriel. That's the Wu. Like it's nothing you can do. That is, they will box you in. They will box you in. There's nothing you can do. No other group in the history can do that. That was a beautiful thing to watch, man. So we had Meth, Ghost, Cap, and Deck. And here's the thing. Ghostface was on the bill, but they had just as much shine as he did. So all the stuff that you've seen over the years, how the Wu can't get along and stuff like that, that may be the case. That's what brothers go through. But when they get on that stage, they're all each other's hype man. Crazy. Could you imagine if Ray was there and half would have brought him out for the eye for eye? Son, what is we talking about, man? Shout out to the Wu. Wu. It is what it is, man. I'm definitely up in that Nas and Wu show at the Barclays. You can bet your bottom dollar we in there. Ray, because you know what's crazy? I said this maybe 2 weeks ago. Ray has a lot of classic verses that were outshined because Nas was on it. Think about it. We only talk about Nas's eye for an eye verse. Ray ate that. Ray is nice, man. Four Nation Music. What up? What's good? Woo heads. Do y'all agree with me though? Woo. Is Woo the best group in hip hop history? Yes or no in the chat. Woo the best group in hip hop history? Oh, you're right, Adriel. He did. I didn't even peep that. Yo, that's how strategic that dude is. And that he said is all signs. It all works out. He did do no, because I mentioned how he stayed away from the Hit Boy, him and Hit Boy's run last night. No, nobody. And that's how you know that their catalog is very sneaky. They're very sneaky. Nas and Hit Boy got a very sneaky catalog because that was there with the live band at that. What we got? Is Wu the greatest hip hop group ever? Cheat Code. That's what we calling them. Good looking out, fam. That's the new name. Yeah, I hope they do a full length documentary of the tour with behind the scenes footage from the different countries. That would be phenomenal. Why leave that money on the table, man? Why? Yeah, but it's nothing I would do or nothing I would change about last night, man. It was perfection. Nothing. Nothing I would change. Nothing was missing. There was something for everybody. Everybody. There's some people you would have thought or hope would have been there, but the show didn't lack because they weren't there. That just happens to be your favorites, you know? Like I'm a New York cat, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I always think about certain things that move me, like Black Moon coming out doing I Got You Open in the Bronx or Yankee Stadium. That could have been a moment, but you can't make room for that because you got to take somebody off the show. Or Smith and West doing anything off the Shining, any Beat Minus production coming through them stadium speakers, you know? But I wouldn't change anything about last night. Wu-Tang undoubtedly the greatest group ever. 4 or 5 top 30 MCs. Damn, one family. Riz is a GOAT contender producer. The rest of the members aren't slacking neither. That's a great comment. That's the truth. Say what you want, man. Because I don't know even the criteria when people make the list and stuff like that. We ain't gonna get into that tangent, but the Wu is like it's almost like a no-brainer. How could you argue against that? You really can't. And they always remain themselves. Public Enemy is top class for sure. Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, I agree with that too, Adriel. I don't think last night was a night of peace. He ain't gonna do 30 or anything to slight anyone. He ain't gonna do abracadabra and talking about Fredos and any of that. Nah, not gonna do that. It's already on wax. So and it you couldn't make room for those songs anyway. What was his set list? He did Fast Life, he did New York State of Mind, Nobody. Lauren had a huge set. He did One Mic. What other songs did Nas do? Hot Boy, Uchi Wally. You just start getting into verses after that, but yeah. Mike Knight, best performances last night. Where we at? I get to that one in a minute. Born Gifted. Last night was Nas, Snoop, Ghostface, EPMD, and Common. I ain't gonna argue with that. I enjoy Havoc a lot though. Oh no, man. Fam, You Owe Me is a song that the ladies love. It's been proven. Like, we're not saying 30 is a bad record, but You Owe Me has a stigma on it, just like Nostradamus, as if it's the worst thing ever created. Any Nas concert I've ever been to and they play that song, you may not like, people go crazy. Both men and women. A lot of men, when they get around each other, speak like that's the worst song ever. When that song comes on, people go crazy over it. They like it. I'm not taking "You Owe Me Out" to put 30 in there. Y'all right. Nas got 3 recent stadium shows he can do a documentary for: New York City Monitor, MSG, and Hip Hop 50. Yeah. Yo, like I think the play is there. Nas done about to get into promotion, man. Ain't talking about promoting albums. I mean, I think they're gonna start putting on huge shows, man. I just get that arena type shows where he's just an act on it, but his name is on the bill as a performer, but his company is the machine behind it. You know, that's a different kind of play. In the list of top 20 Nas beats after Illmatic, how many would be by Hit Boy? I don't know. That would be something I would have to think about. But when you're thinking with somebody with Nas, we got to get out of this whole notion with top 10, top 20, top 30 songs and beats with Nas. The catalog is so vast to where it's it's some songs that you may love and the beat is ridiculous and it won't make the top 50 because he got so many joints. He got so many joints. Nas got joints, man. And Hit Boy got some exceptional beats with Nas. I don't know what it stands in top 20, but that's saying a lot. But he got 5 albums. This is right. And he's not referring to the Nostradamus album. The single itself is the same sample that EPMD used. My favorite performance last night, I don't even have a favorite at this moment. My favorite moment, I'll give you a top 3 favorite moments. Obviously, Lauryn Hill, Noy coming out. You know what? Nah, that's Lauryn Hill, Kid Capri, and probably KRS when the bridge is over. That will always that's gonna be something I will probably never forget. That was fire. But everybody did their thing. This is how I know. I stayed in the crib the entire time and watched it. That was it was Friday night. It was just watch TV for 8 hours. Because that's essentially what we did. Yeah. What you said you was upset that Nas forgot his lines on Fast Life. It happens. That's the thing though. Prepper. I don't know. But he cut it short. What they wanted to, but is the beautiful thing about that is that that led to didn't G Rap get a chance to do his own joint? G Rap did his own song. Am I bugging? Yeah. It all worked itself out, man. It all did, man. Wayne, you wasn't digging Wayne? Uh no, let me get that off the sand before we get some beef going on in here. Here we go. He didn't forget the lines. He cut it short. It was part of the set, Ease. I'm cool with that too. Either way, I was cool, man. Because it was professionalism. It was professional. Cut it short. Hey, yo, Green, that. Went to the next joint. And then he gave G Rap his flowers. Ill Street Blues. That's what he did. I was hoping he was gonna do the realest verse of Murder Music. uh a fit for organ shifter, the human organism lifting. Yo, G Rap, fire, man. Either way, man. I'm trying to get to all these comments because y'all in here getting busy. A lot of more people in here. So, what was your favorite performance last night? Somebody asked me that. What was your favorite moment? Forget performance. What was your favorite moment last night? Favorite moment. Run the chat out. Favorite moment. I told you mine, G Rap, Lauren Hill, and Kid Capri. Masterclass. Smack DVD era, ladies and gentlemen. He went crazy on that too. That was recorded in Baseline Studio, piece of that video too. Saigon. Yard Father. It's my guy. KRS Bridge. G Rap was up. Sure. Lauren, Nas, and Cool Herc. That's fire. That's a moment right there. See, it ain't always got to be the bars. That was fire. 88 Spencer. That's dope. I like that. I can't lie. Lauren stole Nas set and 8. She got busy. Shout out to him for falling back, right? She got busy. Complete skill set. Singing, walk around in those hills, rapping, playing musical director with the band, all of that. Curtis Blow, that was fire too. He came prepared. Lauren has alpha energy. Listen. Nas bringing up. But Josiah, even if they did the back and forth, that's the last verse. He couldn't do the whole song. Nas bringing out Cool Herc and Lauren for nobody. That's fire. Lauren seems to be, Lauren is an alien. Listen, man, that is complete skill set. You ever seen a baller that has no weaknesses? Ladies and gentlemen, that's what that looks like in musical form. Crazy. Can you think of any long form concert festival that can compete with this? I can't. Although Dreamfest is pretty cool. I can't because most festivals they have artists on there that I can go out and have a lunch break and come back. Or there's something on there I don't like. I watched everything from all the OGs all the way to the very end. Audit Grub, all of that. I didn't just watch the whole content. Snoop and Slick Rick, Lauren and Pimp C are the most talented artists in hip hop. People don't know Pimp C was a very talented individual. He used to be singing background vocals and all of that. They should have did. Lucky Lefty, what up, dog? Salute to you, man. How she perform in those hills. Lauren is otherworldly for sure. That was crazy. Lauren showed him how to do this late in their career. The thing with Lauren that she, like we said, she got complete skill set. So even if it ain't rhyming, she can sing. So it's like a cheat code too. And she does it all very well. Like Lauren is different, man. And Nas got her out. Yeah, I wasn't digging that either. That the song Kim did at the end, but it wasn't for me. That was for a different demographic. Maybe some other first of all, I never heard it before. So I'd be sitting here lying, talking about I don't like it, and I heard it. From first listen, I knew it wasn't for me. I didn't like it. Shout out to Esco. Shout out to hip hop, man. We had a beautiful night last night. Shout out to everybody who was in attendance, man. That must have been phenomenal. I know it was a great thing to be at home watching it. And I'm gonna watch it again today. For sure. For sure. Slick Rick. I wonder how that felt too, like for Slick Rick to perform by himself, even Dougie Fresh, and then Snoop brings you out. So now you essentially performed twice. You had a wardrobe change and everything. That's crazy. Snoop 187 took me back. What soundtrack is that's Deep Cover? Is that no? Is that Deep Cover? What movie is that from? Is that Deep Cover with Lawrence Fishburne? Yeah, that is Deep Cover, right? This is what I'm waiting for. The backstage videos are going to be legendary. That's the type of content I want. They'll give you the show for free, but that type of stuff, the OGs. You don't know who was celebrated or honored in backstage, and you don't know who made amends and after having beef forever. We just don't know these things. I'm pretty sure the love was in the building for sure. It was deep cover, right? Yeah. It's been a while. Is that check that movie out? Is that like 92? Dougie Fresh. I don't know, man. How many of y'all going to that Nas and Wu show? Or any of them before they finish out the leg of their tour? Forget that. Is anyone going to that? Well, we'll get to that. Is anyone going to the Roots and LL shows? Because I was looking on Ticketmaster. I don't know if they count Rock the Bells as a show, but they don't come back to New York unless it's going to be a surprise show at the end. They have no shows in NY. I want to check that out. You going to Nas and Wu? I'm gonna check it. I'm definitely. Nas and Shan got a backstage video together. Word. I'm glad they made amends, man. Shout out to Shan. You got what you wanted. Build on it. Talk to Marley, Craig G, TJ Swan. Go on tour. Do some spot dates. Go get your money, Playboy. This is fire right here. MJ wanted to sign Lauren to his MJJ label and wanted to collab with her for his Invincible album. Prince also loved Lauren and helped her out when she had her legal issues. That's fire. I'm all for that. Yeah, I seen the Shan video when he on his own video when he apologized, but yeah, I don't know if we talking about the same video when he said he should have checked his messages. But either way, it is what it is, man. Yeah, why y'all doing this, man? What's happening? Melly Mel versus L. Melly Mel had a great time last night. I really enjoyed him, man. When it's about the music, is wonderful, right? Just stay away from when people start asking you about other artists. Just don't say nothing. Say, yo, this is the hip hop 50th anniversary, man. I'm a pillar. I'm an OG. I ain't here for all of that, man. We can talk about my music. We can talk about some shows. We can talk about my ascension through this hip hop, but I ain't gonna throw no grease on nobody else. We'll see how it goes, though. We'll see how it goes. Oh, they backstage? I'm gonna check it out then. That's what's up, man. I'm all for reconciliation. Like, I don't when people be beefing about nonsense, that joint is mad corny to me. If you can be men, yeah, I was wrong, and move on from it, go ahead. Because like I stated before, a lot of these cats just don't want to be left out, man. They feel like hip hop is forgotten about them because that's the way it works in the world. Pioneers never really reap the benefits of those who come after them. That's just how progression works. But it's up to those who are there to remind everyone. I ain't talking about give handouts, but provide an opportunity. If I provide you with an opportunity to be on the show and millions of people are able to see this, now it's up to you to run with it. So we'll see what happens. Nas and Lauren, best moment. That seems to be like, I wouldn't say unanimous, but a lot of people were happy to see Lauren last night. I'm not. I'm surprised Cam did not bring out Jim and Jules. You think he's still mad at them for causing the Dipset loss to the Locks? Sometimes, well, you got to think about that. They don't come from an era where they were great performance anyway. They didn't come from like the bad boy tree where Diddy made sure that you had kind of like artist development and you would have rehearsals leading up to shows. The Locks were privy to that type of information, so they know how important it is to prepare for a show. Never really got that from Dipset, so you were able to see like that loss probably showed Cam that I need to prepare. And Mace probably even told him like, "Yo, you got to get in there and get ready for the show." You know what I'm saying? Because he's from the bad boy tree too. And sometimes having too many individuals on the show, egos get in the way, and your set list is off because you don't want to make this one mad when you know you should do this song. I'm glad that he just had the Cameron set and he did his thing. Cam did his thing. I love Cam's set. Nah, nah. And Jim doing his lobby boys joint anyway. Let Cam do his thing. He was promoting his show. It is what it is. I had to fit it on yesterday. Nah. Yeah. Crazy that Shan was backstage to see KRS perform The Bridge is Over. Yo, KRS One is petty, man. But in the good way. I'm gonna keep saying it. It was one line in that joint. He was emphasizing it. Like he was reminding him, yeah, we all cool. When I ain't forget about all that joint you was saying on your little live stream. The bridge is over. Yeah. That was fire though. That's fire. All in all, I enjoyed everyone, man. I really did. Even Roxanne Shante got up there and her set was clean, like she rehearsed. Yo, I heard about this. I didn't because whenever dude name be coming up, I don't really entertain it because there's always some nonsense. It's never uplifting when it comes to this guy. But I'm all for hip hop piece. But Erica Badu going back at act this week was much needed smoke. I'm gonna go see what happened. Check it out. But yeah, that's crazy though. Ease, what do you think about Common? Common had a great set. Came out to the perfect song. Common is a b-boy at heart. You can tell, man. Like he didn't let all that outside success go to his head. He just loved to rap. And I love the fact that they always ready to perform. Breath control is there. No hype man needed. Shout out to DJ Dummy on the ones and twos. Clean transitions. I was surprised to see him pull out the food. That was fire. That was I like that. That was fire. His set list was great. Any hip hop, he gonna freestyle ability. Common is a complete artist. He's a fan. Like when we speak about like Nas and Snoop is a fan. Common's a fan like that too. Common is a hip hop fan. Like you can hear how even he speaks of certain artists. Like I remember Nas was interviewing him on the Bridge podcast. He was there to be interviewed, but he was a fan, and he shows it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's infectious. DJ Dummy is super nice. 88 Spencer, you ain't lying, son. Yo, he's nice. And not just like a lot of DJs can scratch and do stuff like that. But when you go see Common live and stuff like his shows, you watch him on video, the set is always right. No miscues. DJ Dummy, I think he produces a little bit too. He been with Common for a minute too. I think DJ Dummy from Long Island, right? See, y'all speaking on moments I didn't even pay attention to. Crazy how Common performed. I used to love her with Ice Cube backstage. Hip hop is amazing. Yeah, yeah. You right, Soulmatic. He did show Common's Electric Circus love on the pod too. He was like, yeah, when I was out in Europe, Common was like, yeah, that's a good place to listen to it. Like, yeah. But that album is growing on me. He took a chance. Took a chance. Nas shows great performance last night. You can tell he did his research and due diligence vetting the acts. Yes, I think we spoke on that earlier. That it just made sense. Nothing. I would love to know how they made those decisions. Like, let's even think about the Nas and Cam situation. That's maturity within it. Not to say it was ever beef, but you can remove yourself from stuff that happened 20 years ago and people may have said things that went too far. You forgive it. It's all love. Build a relationship. Now I'm calling you to come do a show to represent our beloved hip hop 50th anniversary. That's fire, man. That's grown man ish right there. T.I. finally got his versus moment that he wanted. EPMD, complete. Hip hop is complex. You're right. You're absolutely right. A lot of moving parts, a lot of feelings, and you're dealing with individuals and your egos in the way. Nobody want to communicate and deal with anything. But last night proved that it is all possible. It's possible. Esco It's the face of the league. You know what I'm saying? You're right, Josiah. He's the logo, right? He's the logo. That's what Esco was the logo. That's it, man. Nas is the logo. Give my man his flowers. Shout out to hip hop. Hip hop. We in good. We good. Much needed resurgence. People always talk about like, yo, I don't like the drill. I don't like where hip hop is going. That's just when you're dealing with things in a vacuum. When you're listening to reports and media reports and what they be trying to, I don't know, make the culture out to be. Last night is what hip hop is, not that other stuff. That all that other stuff need to be cleaned up. We can be better, but this is what hip hop is about. Yo, it's Snoop is a professional. Breath control, right? Too. This a fan. Lighten up. EPMD lyrics. They brought them out. Over what? I shot the sheriff. Was it that? I believe so. Snoop is a fan, man. Jim Jones took an L talking about Kofi smacking. That was one of the wackest eras ever, man. That's around, yeah. We're gonna have to. Nas credentials is out of just 2023 alone, man. He getting his flowers, recognition, and acknowledged by others. Uh, as of late, like the accomplishments are just racking up, and it's happening organically too. Like J Mar said, it's only so much that you can kind of oppress or act like something isn't happening. This joint is happening in real time, real time. So listen up, man. We've been on this joint for 3 hours, about to get the day started. I appreciate all y'all out there, man. Hip hop took the billions. I knew we would. Shout out to Esco. Queens, get the money. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all stay good. Hope your families are well, your health's intact. Get that money. Remain sincere and go get yours. Yeah. I'm out of here. Salute. Love y'all.